Not just trades, firings.
Trades went over by 1.5.
2.5, 3.5 if you count the 2 on Monday. Happy hump day to you, Jules. Morning, Behind.
Happy hump day. I don't think that's I don't think that's said nearly enough.
Well, how about the Lions trade?
When Chase Young goes to the Niners, I'm like,
The Bears have
the Lions, you didn't do enough.
The Bears need to be absolutely sick, though, for the difference between what they got what they traded to get Montez Sweat versus what the Niners traded to get Chase Young. I mean, you can argue like who's better, but you really can't at the same time, in my opinion.
Who would you take, Chase Young or?
I would take Chase Young for sure, but it's just that the Bears gave up. What was it like?
I would take the Sweat.
Sweat's more available, so I guess that's the
Sweat's better. Chase Young's had 1.5 good years.
That's true. I don't know.
Montez Sweat is a dog. Montez Sweat's someone they're signing long term. They're making the centerpiece of their defense.
Yeah, that's true. I was just thinking because the Bears gave up it'll be the 30 or something pick.
I mean, that's why, the Bears, that's like when they acquired the receiver from the Steelers, gave up a second-round pick. Yeah, it turned out to be the first pick of the second round.
Yeah.
It'll be a really good second-round pick again that they just gave up.
I mean, the Niners giving up a third-round pick. I mean, that's giving up somewhere between 88 and 96.
And the Bears are giving up no worse than 40.
Right.
No, I mean, no worse.
No worse. Right.
All right. You ready over there?
Yeah. I mean, we'll find out for sure in 40 seconds, but I think I got everything set up.
Steve, listening to a Kirk Ferentz presser. I mean, my life is not great right now, but I couldn't do that to myself. Hello, friends. I mean, Kirk Ferentz presser or coach's show.
Get a 23 Jeep Grand Cherokee for $399 per month for 42 months. Don't overpay. Come see me, Jay, for the best price in Southwest Florida, period.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Top of the morning to you on this 1st of November, and it happens to be a hump day. Let's get over it together, shall we? How the heck are you? Miller and Moulton, the Florida Sports Network. FloridaSportsNetwork.com. It's going to get chilly, right? Over the next couple of days, a little bit. Although, might not make it to where you are, Mark, in Southwest Florida. Apparently, the whole country is getting chilly over the next couple of days, except for those of you south of I-4.
I mean, what I'm looking at here,
right,
appears to be 80s and 70s. No, we're good. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, the whole rest of the country.
Fine.
Yep. All of a sudden. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not even a sock advisory. That's
How you doing? A lot going on last night. Hell, a lot going on this morning. It's not often we wake up to, wait, what?
That one did catch me.
Yeah. You got firings overnight, ladies and gentlemen. Don't know how many of you are waking up this morning to, wait, what happened? Yeah. Raiders cleaned house. Mid-season. Waited till after the trade deadline, however. So if they had traded Devontae, everybody would have stayed, or no? I don't know. What a mess.
They are an absolute, utter disaster.
Wow. Got to work them into the poll question today in terms of biggest grease fire in sports.
Man, oh man.
Whew. But we had trades. Okay, will you and Pat Kerwin stop doubting me? Okay, the world is changing. There's artificial intelligence and NFL teams are trading. Okay, I mean it's bat blank crazy right now.
No, you're right. What did we end up with? 7?
Well, 6 yesterday, 2 on Monday. So within basically 24 hours, 28 hours, whatever, it's 8 trades.
So it went way over.
Way over. Way over. And do you know what the commodity was? Defensive linemen. Big fellas. Yeah. Let me get me one of them. Uh-huh. I think half the guys traded were big fellas. If you count an offensive lineman going to the Jags, we got more than half the guys traded were big fellas. Heck, the Vikings even traded for a quarterback. I mean, kind of.
They traded for a quarterback.
That's their plan.
Now we know.
Yep. Josh Dobbs. But hey, Bills went and got a corner. Jags got an offensive lineman. I have to admit, after that Jags trade, I think about 20 teams in the NFL went, wow, that's not bad. Really? I can get me a starting guard for a 6th-round pick? Huh. Who knew? Maybe I should have answered that phone call from the Vikings after all. I don't normally talk to that guy. Huh. Maybe next time I will. So, and we got a team who's never won the World Series, went away from winning the World Series. Not even just got to mention the fact that the College Football Playoff Committee decided to go back to work. In fact, could that be the poll question? Okay, more messed up. Las Vegas Raiders, College Football Playoff Committee.
What's your beef with the College Football Playoff Committee?
No, just
I know you're being snarky. I know it's early. I mean, it's Halloween. You didn't get a chance to go out and toilet paper anybody's house last night, so
no. But then again, I didn't have mine toilet papered either. So you take the win where you can.
Walked out this morning and we'd left the pumpkins out all night. And I just looked and I smiled and I went, yeah, that had never flown in my neighborhood growing up. Things would have been in a million pieces.
How did it go last night, by the way?
Oh, I had the golf cart for the daughter. I was her chariot. She was Cleopatra. She had a chariot and she made it around the neighborhood in record time, filling up the sack as full as you could fill it.
Did you dress in any attire as her driver?
No.
No, nothing?
No. I had a Miller Lite in my hand.
Well,
I went as the clubs were still in the back. I went as a golfer.
You went as a recreational golfer, did you?
Yes. The golf glove was right, hanging. The
By the end of the night, were you just pulling up onto people's lawns? Like the guys on the course who pull up on the aprons when you're like, hey, they don't belong here. I'm a member. I've been a member. I pay my
I can go
dues.
wherever I want.
Yeah, rah, rah, rah. I finished 5th in the club championship in 2017. Leave me alone. I'm feeling it this morning. See, that's what happens when I sleep in my own bed. I'm a little, there's a little edge to me once I'm, wake up in my own room. I mean, wife was nice to me this morning.
Wow.
I know. That's what I said. Because last night, all right, I looked right at her and I said, when are you moving? Man, I had some snark to her last night. Golly, glad I came home to this. Thought you told me you missed me. Not much.
Get back to this World Series.
Exactly. Just, if you don't mind, the Diamondbacks are trying to rally. Leave me alone.
Didn't know I was going to watch NBA action this early in the season.
Exactly. Hey, Wemby's on. Leave me alone. But a lot going on once again. We're going to have November baseball. May not have much of it, though. But we're going to have November baseball. Get used to it. Have a feeling the season's going to go into November on a pretty regular basis going forward. Pretty regular basis. Although I think the season starts even earlier next year when they release the schedule, because it started, March 30th this year? I think it even starts like the 27th or 8th next year. Didn't we used to wait till after March Madness to play baseball?
We did. And David, there used to be a time that we watched baseball because the television numbers are in.
That's another thing.
And you're not watching.
No. And we knew you wouldn't. Okay. We just didn't maybe know you wouldn't this much.
Right.
For the record, I gave Mark Miller 4.5 million viewers and the World Series. And I took Monday Night Football. And once again, I can't count this in the win category. Another one of those bets that don't count. Man, Mark gets all the ones right that count. I get the ones right that don't count. Over-under trades, got it right. Okay, viewership, Monday Night Football versus World Series. Okay, nothing.
Yeah, you did have the Cavs plus 3.5. That didn't work out for
I
us.
know. Whoo-wee. So
David,
much.
you should make the prop bets at sportsbooks.
Man, so much for the Cavs doing all that talking about how unhappy they were with the Knicks. Man.
They're still unhappy with the Knicks because the Knicks whooped them.
Man, do they ever. Shut up already, Cleveland. Just go back to playing Indiana or something. But this is the worst rated World Series ever. I can't believe Texas and Arizona would be the worst rated World Series ever. It's really bad. Monday Night Football nearly doubled it.
It's the Lions.
And the Raiders are so bad they cleaned house within 24 hours of the game ending.
So many people watched the Raiders play badly that they had to fire everybody.
Here's my question. Does this affect Brady buying into the team? I mean, does Brady now go, man, I can't, this is a mess. Yeah, I know, but you're trying to get in on a discount. Yeah, but do I really want to buy that on a discount? Not only that, he just fired my buddy, who's not a good head coach, Tom. I don't know what to tell you.
No, he is not.
There's a difference between a coordinator and a head coach.
And you would think at least his offense would have been good.
Right.
It would have been one thing if he's fired and he just didn't know what to do with the defense and they didn't have a cohesive balance between the two sides of the ball, but the offense was horrific.
And remember, he inherited a playoff team. They won 10 games the year before he got the job. He coached them for a year and a half. Did he win 10 games? Is it 11? How many did he win in a year and a half? It's close. I mean, Gruden and Bisaccia there in 2021, they went 10-7, made the playoffs. I mean, I don't think he got to 10.
In 2022, the Raiders won 6 games.
And they're 3-5, right?
Yeah.
There you go. That's 9-16 right there. Where is Bisaccia now? He's doing special teams somewhere. Do you just bring him back and say, I'm sorry?
First thing I thought. Can you right or wrong? You were supposed to be here in the first place. I screwed up.
Now, I know half the team you had is gone at least, and, your quarterback. That's the other thing. I mean, remember, he benched Carr. He said, you suck. I'm going to go get Jimmy G. I'm going to pay him your money. Yeah, I know he's injured, but he's not going to be injured with us. Really? Hell, he was injured as you were giving him the physical. Remember, he didn't work out all offseason. He's already missed 2.5 games this year. And when he came back, man, was he good.
What did he throw for Monday night? 90-some yards?
This just in, Devontae's still open. How happy do you think he is? He's stuck in Vegas for the rest of the year.
I don't know. I smell a hammy.
Yes. Yes.
A bad back.
Absolutely.
Miller and Moulton. Terrific show lined up for you. Seth Everett, Bud Elliott, Dalton Miller, all to join us in the starting 5 in 25 minutes on the Florida Sports Network.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Myers.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to shop with the best, and the mall is not the place to be. Here are my friends, Jason and Todd, with the Diamond District.
Take a stroll in the mall, hop to a few joy stores, and you'll soon discover you're in the wrong place. Rings begin to look all alike. You're not finding GIA-certified diamonds. You quickly realize you know more than a salesperson helping you, and all the same financing gets pushed on you.
Visit Jason and me, and you'll find America's top bridal designers dealing exclusively with the Diamond District. You'll find the largest selection of GIA-certified diamonds, all priced 8 to 10% over cost. You'll find educated sales consultants who have many years' experience and are not paid commissions.
And you'll find Todd and me in the store nearly every day, wanting to shake your hand and welcome you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
FGCU Eagles basketball is back. Coach Carl Smesko and the women's team, fresh off their March Madness run, are reigning ASUN Conference champs, and they'll take on the Kentucky Wildcats in a home showdown you won't want to miss. Plus, Coach Pat's men's team season includes a marquee home matchup against FAU and UNC Wilmington, all at Alico Arena for less than the price of a movie ticket. Get tickets now at FGCUtickets.com or call 866-FGCU-TICKS. That's FGCUtickets.com or 866-FGCU-TIX.
When you need a sign for your business, club, school, or more, Signs in One Day can do it. Family and female owned since 1998 with a longtime staff that takes pride in their work, creating custom signs to get you noticed. In Fort Myers off Alico Road. For your free estimate, call 239-267-5500 or visit signsinOneday.com.
Signs in One Day.
I'm not listening to commercials for 7 minutes.
All right.
Okay.
He's still hearing the commercial, so whatever.
Now I'm not.
All right, now he's not. Okay.
I know I have to listen to the first 2 minutes. I ain't listening to the next 5.
I just said FGCU's advertising.
Does this sound normal to you guys?
This is normal.
Okay. Good.
You know, that crawl would be a lot more impressive if 24 hours earlier I wasn't dressed as a sad lizard.
I like all the people that send it to me. Like I didn't see it.
Oh, the me as the lizard?
Yeah.
A dinosaur, Joe. It was a dinosaur.
And come on, Steve. What's that award behind the left shoulder? You know what that award is.
It's a daytime Emmy. It's for my guest appearance on Days of Our Lives.
Man, that would be cool if it was.
Yep. Although, I must admit, in the last 2 weeks, a bunch of daytime soaps people are all dying.
Yeah, someone 50-year-old from
from GH and Days of Our Lives died yesterday. Must be all that HGH or whatever they're all taking. You know, Mac, that's a good point. What's more impressive, 10 straight road wins or 18 straight playoff losses? Over the course of, like, what was it, 15 years? Something ridiculous like that?
10 straight road wins is impressive.
Yeah, it is. It really is. It really is.
Where would you rank playoff baseball as far as how hard it is to win on the road compared to other sports?
It's all about pitching.
Yeah.
But I think they're all, I think it's equal. It's just doing it over and over and over again.
Yeah, that's true. Any streak like that's pretty remarkable.
I mean, it's the 4th series. That's the other thing. It's a 4th different team. Over 4 weeks.
They were nice enough to put Air Force 25th, huh?
Well, Tulane 24th. They have them battling it out for who's going to get the last New Year's Day 6 bowl. Yeah, but Adam, my guess is that Minnesota wanted a little more than a 6th-round pick for Daniel Hunter. Who knows? Maybe they decided just not to trade him.
Coming back.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes past the hour. Happy hump day. Happy first day of November. Hope your week's going well. Let's get over that hump together, shall we? Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Terrific show lined up for you. Dalton Miller, Pro Football Network. Nothing to talk about in the NFL. Nothing. I mean, for the NFL, 6 trades and a coach and GM being fired on a Tuesday? Ha! Man.
Is that the ultimate tank now in the NFL, is firing your coach midseason? I mean, because teams are trying to tank in different ways.
Right.
Arizona has done a great job of looking like they want to play hard while yet not really ever having a chance to win.
Well, yeah, no, Arizona's playing really hard. They just made sure they assembled the worst roster in the league. So those guys are playing their oomps off. They're just not any good.
Right.
I mean, that coach has got them, motivated, playing hard, the whole deal. I mean, you know what he's saying to them? Hey, you can't make it here. You're unemployed.
20 of you may have a job next year, maybe, but the rest of you have no shot.
Right. All right, let's get in together now on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Paper or plastic? There you go. Is that a little harsh?
No.
No? Okay.
Well, I mean, you could have gone, because I don't know what they're naming the new U.S. Arena Football League. You know what I'm talking about.
The Spring League.
The Spring League.
It's so funny. I talked to a coach in that league a couple days ago. And, hey, he goes, we have no idea what's going on. Don't know. It's just, what teams are in the league, what teams are out. I have no idea.
Well, the teams play in the cities that are actually the name of the team.
Right. Are we selling tickets? I have no idea. I'm just waiting for the phone to ring. I'm like, well, it's a spring league. It's getting close. He's like, I know. But all right, let's go through these trades. Okay. Jags pick up a starting guard for a 6th-round pick.
How do you fault that? A team just added depth on their offensive line, getting a starter.
Yeah.
And they need offensive line help. A+.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
How
is this not an A?
I mean, the Vikings in the final year of his rookie deal, and the Vikings, I guess, decided they could move on without him. He didn't play last week. The guy who subbed for him from Minnesota must have played pretty well. They decided, yeah, we can afford to get rid of him. Okay. Don't you think Doll fans and a few other teams' fan bases went, really? I mean, that's all it took to get a starting guard? I'll be damned. We've been trying to tell you for years, use those day 3 picks. All right. So Washington had one of the best defensive lines in the league, Mark. I don't know if you noticed. I said had. So Chase Young, 2nd overall pick of the draft not that long ago. Edge rusher. He's got 5 sacks. He's on pace for a double-digit sack season. That's pretty good, right? I said, we're done with this guy. We didn't pick up his 5th-year option. His contract's up in 2 months. Get rid of him. San Francisco said, how about a 3rd-round pick? Done. What do you think? I mean, you're renting Chase Young. This is Von Miller. Okay, the Rams 2 years ago gave up a 2nd and a 3rd to rent Von Miller for 10 games. The Niners are renting Chase Young for 9 games in the playoffs.
Outstanding. Love it.
Okay. Now, the other deal is a bit more interesting. Washington trades Montez Sweat. I actually think he's better than Chase Young. He's got 6.5 sacks. He plays every game. He's consistent. But who acquires him? Not a good team. Bad team. Pretty bad team. Could have the 1st overall pick of the draft. Bad. Chicago Bears. They give up a 2nd-round pick for Montez Sweat, who's a free agent at the end of the year.
Again, they're renting a player for us. I don't get this. That doesn't make any sense to me, David.
Well, it does me in this sense, and I like it, believe it or not. I like it, although they gave up 1 round too high. I would have preferred they did it for a 3rd because they're bad. That's a very high 2nd-round pick.
At worst, 40.
At worst, you're right. Most likely in the mid-30s. But here's what I think they're going to do. they're like, yeah, we're going to make him a centerpiece of our defense. We're paying that guy. That's a guy that we want, and we're going to pay. Remember Roquan Smith a year ago at this time? Yeah, we didn't want to pay him to be the centerpiece, but we'll pay this guy. Remember Matt Eberflus, defensive guy, okay? He looks at Montez Sweat and says, that's a guy I can build around. Well, okay. So you're not just renting Montez Sweat. You're going to sign him 4 or 5 years, big money, $100 million.
Okay. As opposed to a starter for 4 or 5 years in the second round at $1 million a year.
Well, but remember that you have to trust the Bears to get it right. Man, that's a big if.
You're absolutely correct. I have to trust that the Bears got it right with this trade too.
Yep.
That's a big if.
But
that's a big
It
if.
is. It is. I will say this, Mark. What I like about it is that, bad teams can acquire good players too. It really is allowed in all sports. I mean, you can't stay bad forever. You can't. It's not like there's a rule you're only allowed to make trades once you get above 500. Then you're only allowed to better yourselves. So I'm all for bad teams going, this is an opportunity to get a player I don't think we can get our hands on. I mean, is there a Montez Sweat in this draft? Don't know. Besides, Bears might be spending that on a quarterback. Bills went and got a corner. They needed one.
Right.
Rasul Douglas from Green Bay. By the way, they picked him up 2 years ago off the street, and Rasul Douglas gave them 2 years of terrific cornerback play off the street. It's one of those deals here. Take our guy and a 5th rounder. You give us a 3rd rounder back. So the Packers are going to get, a pick probably somewhere between 85 and 95. Bills get a corner for half a year.
How do you fault the Bills?
No, I can't believe they got the 5th rounder back. Vikings acquired Josh Dobbs.
There it is. I mean, can you say wild card? There it is. It's done now.
Come on now. I mean,
you know what? You're right. How do you not consider him a challenger for the division now? You're right, David. I apologize. Selling the Vikings tremendously short.
I mean, listen, at least he's not the guy on the Giants who they're like, no, he sucks. We can't even let him throw the ball.
Some poor kid in my neighborhood was Daniel Jones for Halloween last night.
Wow.
Right. I just glared at his father. Like, you're doing that to that kid?
Really?
He's 8, 9 years old wearing that Jones jersey.
Come on.
That's great. That's great, Dad.
Did you look at him and ask him, how's your kid's neck? I digress. And the Lions went and picked up a wide receiver from the Browns.
Okay.
Not only that, he's got 3 names. Okay. Always interested in people. Donovan People-Jones. He's a man of the people.
Or of the Jones.
Or he's one of the Joneses.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to make sure you're shopping with the best. And the best when it comes to GIA certified diamonds and diamond jewelry is not online. It's not in the malls. And it's not with any of the new pop-up jewelry stores trying to make a go of it here in Southwest Florida. The best place to buy diamonds is with my friends Jason and Todd at the Diamond District, who have made Southwest Florida their home for over 20 years now. The largest selection of GIA certified diamonds is with the Diamond District. The only place you'll find diamonds 8 to 10% over cost is with the Diamond District. America's top bridal designers have chosen the Diamond District to represent their engagement rings exclusively in Southwest Florida. Simply put, the best selection, experience, and best prices are with Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Dalton Miller coming back from this break?
No,
not yet.
7:38.
7. Oh, duh. Okay.
Starting 5 coming back from this one.
Good morning, Dalton. Sorry, I'm calling you an hour early.
Uh-oh.
What do you mean?
I'm just watching the Chippewa highlights. They got into a little altercation at the end of their game last night.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If the Michigan coach was on the sidelines for the Central Michigan State game, it's the best thing ever.
Wearing sunglasses at night.
Yeah, do you guys buy that? Was that him? There's a lot of conflicting, like, it's a lot of Twitter people just going crazy.
They're doing a story on ESPN right now.
It's got to have some wheels.
Well, here's the part of the story, though. There's a lot of guys on the Central Michigan staff who have ties to Michigan.
Yes.
Because he would have needed to call one of them to get the sideline pass.
Yep. Because everyone was like, well, how do you get on the field? I'm like, come on, guys. Like, CMU and Michigan. Obviously, there's going to be some coach knows another coach on both,
The
sort of network.
The passes are numbered. Apparently, you get 50.
Okay.
All I know is that if I was in Michigan doing local sports when talking about this story and showing the video, I'd have a Corey Hart wearing sunglasses at night playing underneath.
And I'd be doing the old Bob Dylan and just be throwing signs. Harbaugh, Michigan, sign stealing.
Yep. Oh, nice. Is that the other one you do? Signs.
Yeah, they're
everywhere. Signs.
Yep.
Have to get that song on a loop.
It just proves you can't get away with anything these days.
Every night it'd be like, okay, now it's kids. Now it's time for signs everywhere. Signs.
If you're game day now, you got to show up for Ohio State and Michigan.
Well, first off, this is going to be so awkward. They're never going to ask Desmond Howard about this. How awkward is that? They're going to have Kirk Herbstreit comment on it. The Ohio's, in which if he says one word that's even neutral, Michigan people are going to go nuts because he's a Buckeye quarterback. I mean, but then again, ESPN's no longer in bed with the Big Ten. So,
right.
No, KW, I do not watch the talking head shows, but I do like Woody Page. He's got a personality.
And he's a nice guy. He was very nice. I went and introduced myself to him at the Super Bowl party and said, hey, really, I think you're funny. And he started walking away. He goes, where are you going? Sit down.
Coming back.
Let's drink.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes before the hour, an hour away from Dalton Miller of ProFootballNetwork.com. Nothing to talk about in the NFL. Seth Everett, top of the 8 o'clock hour, grade 8 hour on a Wednesday. Seth Everett, Bud Elliott. Nothing to talk about in college football either. Nothing at all. Okay, maybe there's some stuff worth talking about. That's why we do this thing at this time called the
Starting Five.
The Starting Five, David. He's 0 for 1.
Well, he's like 1-1 this week.
He's hitting buttons.
Nothing's working, is it?
No.
See, this is another thing. We're doing a disservice to Trent. Okay, first off, this is like, his first big introduction into the business. He could do better. Secondly, he's working with 1979 equipment. It's not ours. Okay, but honestly, Miller and Moulton have been a part of the building that Mark and Trent are now sitting in for 20 years. The equipment's exactly the same. Okay.
The Starting Five.
Hey,
there
5
you go.
Stories you need to know. It's the Starting Five on Miller and Moulton. Here's number 1.
Just pound that 8-track cassette on the side a little harder. Okay, to get it to go. I was going to start with the NFL and it being trade deadline day and the fact that there were 6 trades yesterday. Hell with that. There were 2 firings. Mark Davis, it's like he got a bad haircut or something and he got upset, took it out on somebody. He fired GM Dave Ziegler and head coach Josh McDaniels. Problem is, it's a year and a half too late. They were on the job a year and a half and ran a playoff team right into the ground. Man. Antonio Pierce is the interim head coach. Raiders are hosting the Giants. Boy, you want to talk about 2 teams.
Wow.
Wow. Wait, hold on. This just in. Yes, the NFL has decided to televise the game anyway. Contractually, they have to.
That'll be the smallest loop. They put those broadcast maps out. It'll be the smallest loop for the New York Giants ever.
And I mean, look it on paper. Raiders, Giants. Yeah, it's like, who are we giving this game to? I don't know. Give it to the 5th crew. I mean, it's Raiders, Giants, for goodness sakes. A quick sidebar. So I'm flying out of Detroit yesterday, and there's a Raiders fan. And he's kind of dressed up. And I said to him, the game was last night. He laughs. He says, yeah, I made, Chicago, Detroit back-to-back. I came for, the week. I'm like, oh, wow, cool. He goes, yeah, man, Chicago, they are rough. They were nasty. They were mean. I said, Detroit? He goes, oh, Lions fans are great. He goes, this is like the nicest place. Okay. There you go. There were 6 trades yesterday in the NFL. Washington traded Chase Young to the Niners and Montez Sweat to the Bears. Yeah, so much for the strength of our team. We'll just dismantle that sucker. You don't think everybody's getting fired, do you? Josh Harris, Magic Johnson, I'm telling you, Bill Belichick, head coach, GM of the New England Patriots. All right. Anyway, Josh McDaniels becomes head coach of the Patriots.
Oh my goodness! Stop.
Just saying. Bills pick up cornerback Rasul Douglas. Lions pick up Browns wide receiver Donovan People-Jones. Kind of curious about that one from both ends. Vikings pick up starting offensive lineman, they trade starting offensive lineman Ezra Cleveland to the Jags. I like that deal for the Jags. And then the Vikings pick up Josh Dobbs. That's the answer. Kirk Cousins goes down, we're going Josh Dobbs.
Not exactly sure what the question is, but the answer is Josh Dobbs.
Well, the answer apparently for like 5 teams in the last year and a half has been Josh Dobbs. I mean, he is making the rounds. Let me tell you, the swag that he has. Mark, he has so much swag, he could be like his own radio show and just have like a month's worth of giveaways. Think of all the swag he's got. By the way, the Vikings announced that rookie Jaron Hall is going to start at quarterback against Atlanta. Steelers quarterback Kenny Pickett says, quote, "Oh, for sure," unquote, that I'm playing Thursday against Tennessee. The Steelers are like, I don't know. We'll let you know.
Right. Quarterback says he's playing team, not as sure.
I don't know. We'll get back to you. Giants, which is funny because it was just like 4 days ago that they said, there's no way Daniel Jones is going to be ready before week 10. And then suddenly, they got some guy, Tommy DeVito, that they're stuck with at quarterback. And they looked at Daniel Jones and said, listen, we know you're not healthy, but you're healthy. You know what we're saying? And suddenly Daniel Jones is cleared to play week 9 against the Raiders. Huh. Funny how that works.
Well, because Tommy DeVito looked like Danny DeVito back there, for crying out loud.
Hello. Where's Schwarzenegger? I need some help. Game 4 of the World Series. Yeah, they're still playing that. Texas jumped out to an 11-1 lead, held off Arizona 11-7. Diamondbacks were hoping one more homer. They could go for 2. I'm just going to throw this out there. By the way, remember David Sampson yesterday said we need to see Marcus Semien? Marcus Semien had a 2 RBI triple in the second and a 3-run homer in the third. So, David Sampson challenged him, and he responded. But in all seriousness, 2 things for Texas. First off, they took Max Scherzer and Adolis Garcia off the roster. And when you do that, that means they're done. They can't play anymore, and so they were replaced. Garcia obviously has been huge in the order. He's got 8 homers and 20 RBIs. I mean, he's been arguably their biggest bat, him and Seager, in the lineup in the postseason. But also, Arizona came back. They scored 4 in the 8th, 2 in the 9th. They forced Texas to use their closer last night to get the final 2 outs of the game. He also pitched in game 3. So it'll be very interesting tonight. Mark, and a forgotten part of the Red Sox comeback against the Yankees in 2004. You look at game 3 and you're like, it was like 18-7 New York. Yeah, but in the bottom of the 8th, Boston got to within like 3 runs of the Yankees. And Torrey brings in Mariano Rivera. And then the Yankees score like 7 runs in the 9th. But he used Rivera. And then Rivera blows the save in game 4, and he actually used both Tom Gordon and Mariano Rivera in an 18-7 win. And it began to actually, the longer the Red Sox made the series, it became a factor, the back end of the Yankees bullpen. So I'll be curious if Texas needs their closer tonight, it'll be the 3rd straight day that he's asked to pitch. Just throwing that out there.
I think, and very simplistic, I think the team that scored first has won every game in this World Series.
Well, then it's on the road, and Texas is 10-0 on the road. So.
and they're crushing the baseball. So in order to beat them, you almost think you have to get to 7.
That's not bad. That's a good thought. College football. Hey, the playoff committee decided, we've been sitting on the sidelines for 2 months and we're bored. Okay. Do you mind if we release like a top 25? Yeah, it doesn't mean squat, but we're bored. Okay. And we've got a corporate credit card. We go to Dallas for the weekend. And, what do you say? And the college football, sure, fine, whatever. It's in the budget. And so they decided, who's the number 1 team in the country is? Ohio State. Okay, sure. Why the hell not? I mean, I will say, if you're going on merit, one at Notre Dame, they beat Penn State. That's 2 wins against teams who are ranked in the top 10 when you played them. How many other teams got that on the resume, right? Georgia, number 2. I think
because we care about the resume with one team, but not the other.
Right. I think Georgia's finding that amusing. It's like, wait a minute. So you're putting our schedule strength at 100 against us. You do know we haven't lost a regular season game in 3 years, right? 3 years. We have 1 loss in 2.5 years, and we're not number 1? Man, this is a funky sport. Then there's Michigan. Hell, their schedule's worse than Georgia's so far this year. And they're stealing signs. And I love how the playoff committee is like, we got nothing to do with that. That doesn't involve us. That doesn't involve us at all.
Can't talk about that.
Florida State's 4. And I think Florida State's going, so hold on a second. You put Ohio State 1 because the quality wins. We beat LSU, who's 14th. When we played Clemson, they were still, wait for it, Clemson. No? Doesn't count? Okay. All right. By the way, I find it funny. Pac-12 having a hell of a year. Got a bunch of teams in the top 25. Yeah, their undefeated team, they're out. They're Washington. They're out.
Right, because they beat number 6, but that
Oregon.
makes them right.
Right. So that's not a good enough win.
No.
Not as good as Georgia beating Kentucky or Michigan beating UNLV. Hey, don't laugh. It's a team on their schedule with the best record. Texas 7, Alabama 8. LSU is the highest ranked 2-loss team. They're 14. CBS is happy. They got Alabama LSU Saturday night. Tulane right now has the final New Year's Day 6 spot. They're 24. Unbeaten Air Force. You got nothing. You're 25. Oh, by the way, there was a report that that Connor Stallions guy, the Michigan spy, they think he was on the Central Michigan sidelines dressed as a Central Michigan coach, wearing sunglasses at night when they played Michigan State. They've got video and everything. Yeah. I mean, just this story is spectacular.
Everything about it is spectacular.
I mean, if we made this up and put this in a bad movie, you'd all go, come on. That's a horrible plot. Can't believe this movie got made. Oh, no, it got made all right. It got made. Jim Harbaugh in Michigan, once again. We know nothing. Nothing. By the way, the reports about we pulled the contract extension. No, hell no. We're finalizing it. No, it's full steam ahead. For those of you that thought, Michigan would, be embarrassed by this, and this isn't Michigan.
Because Michigan is going to set a gold standard.
Right.
In compliance, David. That's what they said a
Right.
few months ago when they got in trouble.
Right.
About the Hamburglar.
A gold standard. Right. Well, it was cheeseburgers, Mark. Come on. NBA. Oh, there were 2 college football games last night. Central Michigan, they knew every single person who was on their sidelines last night in the snow. They held off Northern Illinois 37-31, and Toledo's 8-1.
And Toledo did what?
They
won
Mark Miller. 31-13 over Buffalo. There's 2 more Maction games tonight. The one you can't miss, 7:30 ESPNU, 1-7 Kent State at 1-7 Akron. Come on, World Series or 1-7 versus 1-7? What do you say? I say we go ESPNU. Knicks beat Cleveland by 18, and that was an angry Cavs team, angry at the Knicks knocking them out of the playoffs. San Antonio trailed the whole game, and then they stole the ball in the final seconds, drove in for a layup, and beat Phoenix 115-114. Orlando lost to the Clippers 118-102. Kings beat Toronto 4-1. Vancouver 5-2 over Nashville. And, I guess the World Cup in 2034 is going to be in Saudi Arabia.
Right. They're the only country that bid on it.
Right. And usually if you bid and no one else does, you win. I've been to those charity auctions. If you're the only bidder, you get that sucker. And it's not like we got to worry about whether or not the check's going to cash. And at 8 minutes before the hour, that was
the Starting Five every weekday morning at this time on Miller and Moulton.
You see what I did there? Because you got to pay for those prizes that you bid on at the charity auction. And, I'm implying that Saudi Arabia's got good credit.
Well, their check will cash.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, I'm just curious, will the head of the PGA Tour be sitting in the royal box for the World Cup in 10 years?
Yeah. What's happened with
No
that?
bed last night. Anything could happen on this show.
Miller and Moulton. Thanks for listening.
Anything is possible.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
the fact that the NCAA is not going to do anything about Michigan's cheating is the best thing about this whole scandal investigation thing.
Wait, the NCAA or the committee?
The committee.
Right.
I mean, that is. They're the Astros.
What if it's like close though at the end? Do you think they'll give the other team the edge over Michigan because of the cheating?
Why?
And the strength of schedule. I mean, because
Michigan loses, they're not getting to the playoff.
Agreed. Because they're
nor should they.
Well, yeah, because at this point, the only team that should beat them or could beat them is Ohio State. So if they lose to
Penn State could beat them.
Penn State could, but they won't be favored. Is my Ohio State will at least. That wouldn't be as bad of a loss.
Right, but with their schedule, if there was no cheating scandal, I don't know if Michigan gets in at 11-1 anyway. But then again, it's college football. They do whatever the hell they want.
I'm just excited for it to be more than 4.
I'm very torn on it.
I would be this year. I don't know if I am with with the way the conferences are.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm interested in the game that decides who the 4th SEC team is getting in.
That's fair. I always thought 4 was too few because there, like when it started, there were 5 power conferences. You can't have all 5 represented because you could argue that most of those years there should have been 2 SEC teams or.
No, I like this year. It would be great.
Yeah,
this year it would be spectacular.
And that's the thing. I guess it depends year to year. Some years you're going to get duds. Some years it's going to be a great.
Well,
pool.
but next year, Oklahoma and Texas are in the SEC.
Right. So there's going to be more losses on the board.
Washington and Oregon are in the Big Ten. I'm not. Just the fact that they will have played a lot of these teams. I'm with you, David.
Don't you think the scale's going to tip so far that eventually it'll just go back to what it was?
No.
10 years?
No.
It may in the other sports,
but not football.
No. If anything, it'll tip more towards a Premier League. But I do think it's possible in the 2030s that they realize this is ridiculous. Why are we playing all these other sports like this? Why don't we regionalize the other sports? And they go back to basically the old conferences.
They should just have a separate entity, the NCFCA.
We've been saying for a long time that college football should be like Social Security. It should be its own entity on the budget.
Yeah.
And also, and we understand Title IX, and we're both for Title IX, okay, but that we think that you could argue in a court, you can't include football in it. There is no sport like football.
We're back in 5.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It is hour 2 of Miller and Moulton on this hump day, the first such day of November. Thanks so much for being with us. Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. There's a report out this morning from Bruce Feldman and Max Olson about the Michigan story. They actually asked other Division I head coaches. And because virtually none of them have said a word publicly, which has, I think, the rest of us curious. It's like, oh, so is this because everybody's doing something like this? And you guys know if you talk, you'll be hypocrites? Or is it because it's Michigan and you're going to hold your tongue for now? So they asked the 50 Division I head coaches, Mark. First off, did Michigan cross the line? 47 of the 50 said, oh, yeah, they crossed the line.
All right.
So that's 94%. On a severity scale, all right, as cheating goes, scale of 1 to 5, how bad is this? 78% said it's either a 4 or a 5. All right.
Okay.
And 35 of the 50 coaches said there's no way Harbaugh has plausible deniability. No chance. So 70% of the coaches said, are you kidding me? Seriously. Like, I'm running my program. You really think this could happen here and I wouldn't know about it? So there you go. Just some, hey, if I send you this ballot, if you fill it out anonymously, would you fill it out? Yeah, sure. Here you go.
But the playoff committee said it's an NCAA problem, and they cannot be bothered with Michigan perhaps cheating.
Don't you think, though, in all honesty, the playoff committee knows we don't have to deal with this. Michigan and Ohio State are going to play each other. No, I think the playoff committee deep down is rooting for Ohio State to win. And then this way they can just make sure they keep Michigan out of the top 4.
I'm rooting for Penn State to beat Michigan and Michigan to beat Ohio State. You want to be gutless and not say anything about it? I want this to be as hard on you as is humanly possible.
By the way, I sort of feel sorry for ESPN. I mean, first off,
said by nobody.
I understand. But think about it. They've got Desmond Howard on game day. What do you think the chances are they ever bring this topic up and ask Desmond a question about it? I mean, don't you? Come on. If you're Mark, if this involved Michigan State and you were former Heisman Trophy winner Mark Miller and we were doing a national show, wouldn't I at some point have to say, hey, proud Michigan State alum, what do you think about this? Does this bother you? Just something like that. What do you think about this? Does this bother you? Does this embarrass you? Those are fair questions, right?
They're very fair, and they should.
So that's number one. Number two, what can Herb Street say? It's not often I take up for Kirk Herbstreit, but poor guy. Can he really chime in on this? Because if he says something neutral, the Michigan people will go, oh man, he's dogging us. He's an Ohio State guy. Then the Ohio State people will be like, hey, what the hell? Why aren't you dogging him?
I thought McAfee took Michigan to task. They threw it in his lap, and he took him to task a couple weeks ago. I'll be interested to see as this story has developed how they address it, or if they just choose the same line as the college football playoff committee and act as if it doesn't matter.
And then there's the third part. ESPN doesn't have a contract with the Big Ten anymore. It's not like they're getting phone calls from Tony Petitti, the commissioner, saying, hey, what are you guys doing? They don't have to take those calls. It's not like Greg Sankey's on the line. Wait, Sankey's on hold? How the hell's he on hold? Answer the phone. They could come down hard on the Big Ten.
Very.
It's not going to cost them business for the next 10 years minimum. They are still, they're the number one voice in the sport. Then again, we could throw it on the other, like we think Fox is going to say anything. They're running the Big Ten. But they don't have the playoff. So, what do you think those phone calls are like? Think the Ohio State people are calling Fox? Going, hey, man, you guys got to man up. And Fox probably saying, shut up and cash the checks, okay? We'll do our own thing. So, I don't know. I find it interesting because this is a sport based on what? Opinion. So ESPN and Fox's opinions shape the narrative, which determine who makes the playoff. Just saying.
Do you think it was him at the Central Michigan sideline? That's all. Do you think?
Yes, I do. He's wearing sunglasses at night. And by the way, I'm going to have Corey Hart's wearing sunglasses at night in my head all damn day. Okay. And then who was the group? Signs everywhere. There's signs.
5-man acoustic jam, then redone by Tesla.
All right. Well, that's in my head now. I see now. I'll be
something to the show.
Now I'll be in the local TV sports guy again, in which every single time I talk about this story, I want to play those songs underneath it. Hold on a second, and then play Tesla, and then wait. Now we're back to, hey, Corey Stallions, and then, just I wear, and then show video of him, and all of a sudden switch to Corey Hart. I wear my sunglasses at night. How do you think this would go over if you're the local TV guy in Ann Arbor? When I was in my 20s, I would have done it too. I would have gotten fired. I wouldn't have cared.
I'm fascinated by all of it. Because Michigan's, I guess they can't say any. I mean, what do they say? They've not denied anything. We're cooperating with the investigation.
By the way, has there been one former Michigan player say publicly, listen, if this is true, ... I mean, that's the other thing. This is like Republicans and Democrats. Okay? This is outrageous behavior. He should be expelled. Oh, no, wait, he's your guy. Oh, well, in that case, there's extenuating circumstances. We got to have meetings and, we'll discuss this as a group. Honestly, I mean, I can't believe there's not one former Michigan player, played for Bo, Michigan, the integrity of Michigan.
I haven't heard a lot of former players, period, saying anything about this, though.
Right.
I mean, this coach's anonymous survey is about the only thing we've got where someone said, oh, yeah, this is cheating. Does this lead to more people coming out and saying this is blatant cheating? Because I don't even think we're there yet.
Here's what I think the Michigan people are going to say. When this is found out to be, it's all true. They're going to say, yeah, but it's not that big a deal. I mean, like Dion said, you give them the plays, you still got to go out there and execute. Okay. It's kind of nice if you know before the snap whether it's going to be a run or a pass. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
that's just saying.
Thing when they were like, yeah, you still got to hit the ball. Yeah, but if you know what pitch is coming.
I was going to say, if you know it's going to be a fastball, it really does help.
The University of Michigan is the Houston Astros.
The leaders in best.
Correct. Is that, by the way, what you do if you're Penn State? Okay, I know it's switching sports in a week and a half. Do you show up with the garbage cans? Are you just pounding the garbage cans? No? Would that go over the crowd? No?
Or just wear Astros gear.
David, there you go.
Idea, though. If it's college game day or something, either there or at Ohio State, yes. They should be banging on trash cans, wearing Astro caps, all that stuff.
In fact, they should have a Michigan hat on and Astros jersey.
Yes. You're
banging a garbage can. Right.
Wearing sunglasses at night.
Here's the other thing. It just so happens every single time the play went near the sideline, okay, he covered his face. I'm not making this up. He covers his face. Yes, I think it was Corey Stallions. By the way, Central Michigan could have already come out and go, that wasn't Corey Stallions.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. They put out
Tommy Valentine. Okay,
they put out a statement. They were just very like,
yeah, we're gonna get to the bottom of this.
It would take 5 seconds to be like, no, that's this guy. He's on our staff.
I was going to say Jim McElwain. Hey, congratulations on the win last night. Who's this guy in the sunglasses on the sidelines? And
no clue.
Says, I don't know. I mean, what do you mean you don't know? He's 5 feet from you. Now, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I think, I don't know. It's some charity auction. He bid the most money. I don't know.
Is that the Soaring Eagle Casino? He won big. Win it blackjack. You get a sideline pass for Central Michigan University.
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. It just, anything. We got to do anything. I think it was a baseball team fundraiser. I don't know.
His team sold the most tickets to the game. He got a sideline pass.
Exactly.
Had to make the one side look like it had enough people, and all the cameras were on one side, put all the crowd on the other. It makes it look good. I don't know.
I think his kid was on the other side. Yeah.
Miller and Moulton. Dalton Miller in 25 minutes. The grade 8 with Seth Everett and Bud Elliott. All still ahead right here. Miller and Moulton, the Florida Sports Network.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
I know you got a big coaching staff at these D1 schools. It would take you 5 seconds to be like, that guy's on our staff. Nope. We're going to get to the bottom of this. What does that mean? And also, if there was someone on the CMU sideline who kind of helped Stallions get the pass or whatever, then CMU is going to be in some hot water. And how many other teams did the same thing?
Oh.
I feel like more stuff's just going to keep coming out about this.
This is terrific.
People are just combing the internet for anything suspicious involving Michigan. Anywhere on the sideline. It's bizarre.
I am groggy today. I don't know why.
Probably because...
Too much candy. Too many Twix bars. I'm very groggy today. I think I had too many Twix bars, David.
Jay Billis.
Into my favorite.
Okay.
Jay Billis listed his top 10 Halloween candies. Twix was 7.
What was 1?
Reese's. Snickers,
okay.
2.
I like Twix right now more than any other candy bar.
Wow.
The 100 grand is second.
Oh, those are incredible.
I haven't had an Oreo in like 20 days, but I mean, I've just destroyed the Halloween.
Paul, he's eaten aisle 5 in the last week, but no Oreos. They're in aisle 6.
Oreos are for Thanksgiving.
I'm hoping that my wife takes all of the candy to work. I told her to take all of the candy to work with her. Because I won't. Well, it's not true. I'll go into my daughter's candy, but I usually back off. If it's the family candy, I'll eat every piece of it and not give any to the family. If it's in her bag that she went out and earned by me driving her around in my golf cart,
I was going to say,
I think I'm entitled to, the more I think about it, I'm entitled to 25% of her candy.
I mean, you were driving the chariot.
Yes.
NG Lindy, you know they can find something wrong with it. It's just they're having to rationalize it. Exactly, Lindy.
No play of the day, by the way. I just assumed we can.
No, that's it. It's over.
Figure something else out. Yeah, it's done.
Wow.
It was Felipe's pride and joy. I don't think I can do it quite like him, though, either. I don't have those third quarter NBA post up, fade away.
There's not one highlight a night you can't come up with it.
Of course there is. I just can't come up with the fun ones. I could. I don't know. We'll talk about it. 5 seconds.
I mean, you could have done the final play of the Spurs Suns game. Just, yeah, all right. It's over.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes past the hour. Dalton Miller, Pro Football Network, profootballnetwork.com, in a little more than 15 minutes time. So a couple of things I learned during the break, Mark, is first off, apparently Jim McElwain was asked. I don't know if it was before the game, after the game, what have you. He was asked. And apparently the official statement right now from Central Michigan is, we have no idea who that guy was. And we're looking into it.
Yeah, we'll get to the bottom of it.
Right. So that's number one. And number two, apparently the play of the day is over. Trent's made his first executive decision. I didn't realize we gave him that much power.
It doesn't have to be over.
You said not say 2 minutes ago, Trent, just listen. Did you not say 2 minutes ago there is no more play of the day.
Well, for context.
Yes or no? It's a yes or no
did.
question.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
thank you. There you go. That's like asking a Michigan fan, is this cheating? Yes or no? Yeah, yes, it is. It's cheating.
I'm giving you the political answer.
Now, you're right. You can rationalize what you did, Trent, as much as you want. But you've ended the play of the day.
Well, we didn't do it Monday, even though I had one on Monday, actually. And then we did it Tuesday. And then today I just figured.
Yeah, I'm done. That's it. I'm done. That's it.
I had one on Monday. I had a nice, I don't even remember what it was.
Well, it must not have been that damn good.
Wow.
I don't think it was. But
wow. So there you go. That's it. The play of the day's over. Okay. And the funny thing is, as someone pointed out in our Twitch chat room, Trent, you could have played like one from last week. Felipe did that a couple times where he played like yesterday's play of the day as tonight's. So, okay. All right. I get that's it. The pod's done. Hey, you also said something during the break. I think you should explain, Mark, to the listeners. So apparently there's two kinds of Halloween candy.
Well, there's like the house candy and my daughter's candy. I mean, I'm not gonna.
Okay, so
the stuff that we give away.
Okay,
the leftover candy is
right.
Is a free for all. If I eat that, I'll eat the whole bag, and I won't feel guilty about not leaving any of it for my wife or daughter.
Okay, but your daughter, remember, and your daughter trick or treated 4 times, correct?
Yes, I mean the pillowcase weighs about 18 pounds.
Right, so she's like aisle 4 and 5 now in her store. She has so much candy, but apparently that's off limits.
I'd feel guilty taking her. I mean, she earned it.
Well, didn't you? I mean, how did she get to these,
I drove her in the golf cart.
Oh, there you go.
Am I good for 25% of hers then?
First off, you're still paying room and board. I think you're good for at least that.
Yeah, but it's Halloween and a kid. You can't. There are certain lines that you don't cross. You don't start stealing your kids' Halloween candy.
Well, first off, yes, you do. You're looking out for her health. She can't eat all that candy. It's not good for her. It's too much. I mean, she's just a little person. That system, it's too much sweets. No. And you're doing her a solid. That's what you're doing here. Besides, you drove the chariot all around town. All these trunk or treats. Who drove the golf cart yesterday?
Oh, I drove the golf cart.
Probably a little inebriated too. And you kept it in the lines. You didn't hit a mailbox or anything.
Didn't hit any kids?
No. So let me get this straight. You're fine eating the entire counter of Milky Ways.
Yes.
But if you go upstairs and it's laying out all over the floor, you feel guilty.
I would.
Wow. Okay. You said you would feel guilty. Would you still eat it?
That's about where I'm at right now.
Is this how you rationalize it? Like a Michigan fan. You don't take the good stuff.
No, see, I only would take the good stuff. If you're going to steal it, why would you take Milk Duds when there's a Twix bar there?
I didn't know if you're trying to, not be caught. Like at some point she comes up and she goes, what happened to all my 3 Musketeers? Daddy, that's all.
Hey, David, stealing the bad stuff would just be the cell phone behind the bench. The good stuff is putting sunglasses on at night and getting on the sideline.
That's what you do, Mark. Now, you know what? Go upstairs in your house with sunglasses on. Okay. And if she comes out of the bathroom or something, shield your face.
How's this going to end, though?
What do you mean, how's it going to end? Michigan's going to go 13-0. They're going to go to the playoff. And they're going to play for the national championship.
And get put on probation for the 2028 season?
Oh, those guys are toast. Absolutely. Harbaugh is going to get his contract, and he's going to leave right before the sanctions come down. He's going to say it's a vendetta, and it's just not fun doing this anymore. Besides, I won my national championship. All right. And you ask the Michigan people, are they going to look at that championship and feel there's an asterisk attached to it?
No, they'll actually. I think what you said, they'll start talking about vendettas, and they were out to get us, and we really did nothing wrong. That's that's the next part of this that I'm expecting.
Right.
Because right now it's been silence. What of the Michigan people that I know haven't said a damn word. The next one will be they were out to get us.
And some of the Michigan people I know are already making excuses, which I liked it better when they were being quiet. All right, because now it's like, seriously, you're going to rationalize this? Do you know what I've listened come out of your mouth over the last 30 years, and you're going to rationalize this? Do I need to repeat what you've said about Ohio State, okay, over the last 30 years? I mean, here's a fair poll question. By the way, I wish we were in Ann Arbor. Here's our poll question today. What's worse, illegally paying for players or illegally stealing the signs?
We'll hang up and listen. Thanks for the call.
We'll head to break here on WJR. But this is it's not like anybody's going to talk about this. They're not going to talk about this. You think Big Noon? Okay. You think Fox's pregame is going to talk about this? Okay. I mean, ESPN's got a 3-hour show, over under 3 minutes this Saturday. Over under 3 minutes on this topic.
It's got to be over, David.
Okay. You know what they do also? What they'll do is they'll go to a couple reporters, and then they'll come back on set and they'll ask McAfee. They won't ask Desmond Howard. Won't ask Herbstreit. Won't ask Desmond. Okay. They'll send it out to a couple of, Heather Dinch, and a couple reporters, and they'll do their thing. And then Reese Davis will turn very seriously and go, okay, Pat McAfee.
It's what they did last week. And it's what they'll continue to do because the story's not going away. But you're right. They're not going to get Desmond to dial in on any of this.
No.
And Herbstreit won't.
Reese could just turn to his right and go, Desmond, does this bother you at all? That's all. Something as innocuous as that. Does this bother you? You're a proud alum. What do you think about all this? That's it. That's underhanded. That's slow pitch softball. That's all. That's all I'm asking you. Does this bother you?
Miller and Moulton. There's some Michigan fans out there. Does it bother you? We'll switch gears. Talk NFL with Dalton Miller. That's next.
But the law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Worth.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other. With a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. a team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Bud, aren't you an hour early?
7:30, right?
I have it on 8:30 on my sheet, but
Oh, I am an hour early. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. All right. Halloween was weird last night.
if we didn't have a guest now, I'd put you on. But I'm like, I did.
No problem. I'm gonna go get a walk in, get my steps in. I'll see you guys in an hour.
So I just look and Bud Elliott's in the on deck circle. Like just a second ago, I put him up. I go, Bud, you know you're at 8:30, right? He goes, no, 7:30. And he looks up. He goes, no, I'm an hour early, aren't I? Yeah, you're an hour early. He goes, all right, I'm gonna go take a walk, get my steps in. I'll see you boys in an hour. Like if we didn't have a guest, I'd throw you on right now. I'd change on the fly for you, Bud.
Funny thing was last year he was 7:38. He asked, could he be 8:38 this year? I said, sure. By the way, I'm feeling very productive today. I just threw in a load of laundry during a commercial break. I mean, telling you, sleeping in my own bed.
I slept in my own bed and didn't get a good night's sleep last night. Must have been too much candy.
Must have been. You are blaming a lot of your problems on Twix. I got to be honest with you.
So good, though.
And not the social media outlet either.
Oh, they're just delicious. The Candy Crunch is just perfect.
I have called Dalton twice, and he has not picked up.
They had Bud Elliott.
I'll try it one more time, but
okay.
Leave him a message.
Yeah.
Okay.
And leave the number.
Okay.
The other thing is, believe it or not, wait 30 more seconds. Like people when they have schedules,
Yeah, that's fair.
like they may know it's 38 minutes after the hour. You're calling them at 34. I don't do fabric softener, Michael.
He uses Downty.
I don't use fabric softener. Don't laugh. We didn't have the money growing up for fabric softener. So I didn't throw the sheets in the dryer. Nothing.
Boy, they wouldn't let you do laundry in my house that way.
Oh,
I have the fabric softener and I'm still not allowed to do it. Dalton just answered.
see, he's busy. He's a working professional.
We got him.
Sonny, could be Sonny. No sheets, Michael.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes before the hour. Thanks so much for being with us. Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. On this hump day, also the first day of November. Thanks for waking up with us. We've talked to Dalton Miller quite a few times in the last couple of years. Pro Football Network, profootballnetwork.com. You can follow him on Twitter/X at Dalton B. Miller. I don't think, Dalton, we have ever had this much meat on the bone in 24 hours before talking to you before. Between an active trade deadline and what Mark Davis did to his franchise some, 7 hours ago. Let's start with the Raiders. Cleaning house on Halloween. Wow.
Yeah, listen, I wasn't surprised that that's what ended up happening in Las Vegas. The two Ziegler and McDaniels were a package deal coming in. So, it was a little bit surprising to see a general manager only get about a year and a half to try to build a roster that was dead when he got there. But, at the end of the day, they were a package coming in, so it makes a little bit more sense in that respect. It's disrespectful, quite frankly, to have them work through the trade deadline for your football team and then fire them a couple of hours later. But the writing was on the wall with Josh McDaniels. They had just had a meeting that prior week where players kind of aired their grievances, and as soon as I heard, the meeting went well, the writing was on the wall that Josh McDaniels was not going to be long as the Las Vegas Raiders head coach. And, quite honestly, it was never going to work out. We saw what happened in Denver. What happened in Indianapolis was an absolute disgrace. And for him to back out of that situation was tough. I didn't think he was going to get another shot after that. And it just kind of goes to show that, when somebody shows you who they are, and things don't work out, and then it gets even worse at the second spot, maybe they don't deserve a third chance. And there's a lot of guys in the league that do deserve multiple shots to be head coaches. And sometimes it works out. Usually it doesn't. And this is one of those situations where it just didn't work out for Josh McDaniels.
And now mid-season to fire him, basically you've conceded the rest of the season now if you're the Raiders, which was inevitable anyway. So we'll see where we go from there. What trade, of all the trades out there, what was the one that you went, oh, man, they got it right? Was it Young? Was it the lineman going to the Jags, which we liked? What was the trade that made you, what was the hit that you with the wow factor?
Yeah, Ezra Cleveland to Jacksonville, I think, was a really nice move because I think they really wanted to bolster that interior offensive line. I think it's been a problem all year. And when you look at Trevor Lawrence, I think Trevor Lawrence has been a lot better than maybe a lot of people think he's been this year. But there are times where he gets to the back of his drop and it's one read and go because he just obviously does not trust what's going on in front of him on the offensive line. And so it's really hampered their ability to find explosive plays consistently. So bringing in a very good pass protector in Ezra Cleveland is a nice little move for them. But for me, it all comes down to Chase Young and going to the 49ers and pairing with Javon Hargrave and Nick Bosa and Eric Armstead on that defensive line. It's a unit that, Kyle Shanahan, they build that defense from front to back. And the pass rush hasn't quite been as dominant this year so far. Things have changed a little bit in the secondary. Steve Wilkes likes to play a little bit more man. He likes to be a little bit more aggressive than they have been in the past. I think that Kyle is going to really try to talk him off of the ledge a little bit there and just play coverage, let 4 guys get to the quarterback, and Chase Young for a, compensatory pick in the 3rd round is a low risk, really high reward type of deal for the San Francisco 49ers.
Do you agree with what Washington did philosophically? They built a defensive line on 1st-round picks, and now 4 or 5 years later, they're dismantling that defensive line. Chase Young to the Niners, Montez Sweat to the Bears. Do you agree with what they're doing philosophically as an organization?
I probably would have kept Chase Young around just because I don't think that he would have been a huge contract for his 2nd deal. But at the end of the day, this new ownership group just wanted the assets. They wanted a clean slate to kind of rebuild. They have Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne there that are locked up for a while now. So they have the interior there. I don't think it's a great year in the NFL draft for edge rushers. So it'll be interesting to see where they go from here. Trading Montez Sweat to the Bears was a fantastic move because you weren't going to pay both of them, even if you wanted to keep one of them. And I think Montez Sweat, with the production that he has had as a pro, and with the assets that you got back for him in that trade, a top 40 pick for somebody who, he's a good pass rusher. He's not a great pass rusher. He's a really good run defender, but he's not somebody who you're going to flow your offensive line to and really push protections towards either. He doesn't scare you like that. So I think moving on from him was the correct decision. I would have kept Chase Young around, but, that also just kind of goes back to what I thought about him in the pre-draft process. He just hasn't been that guy until this year. And with the injury history that he has, maybe there's long-term concerns with the knee. They just wanted a clean slate.
Who was the team that didn't make a move yesterday that made a mistake by not doing so?
Ooh, that's a good call because, when you look at it, I thought that the Bills really needed a corner.
Right.
They went out. I might have overpaid a little bit for Rasul Douglas, but they absolutely needed that guy on the back end. I think a lot of Dallas Cowboys fans are upset because they saw, Kevin Byard go to the Eagles. They saw Chase Young go to the 49ers, and they kind of sat on their hands. But when you look at that roster overall and you look, they could have went after a corner. I think Jalen Johnson, not being moved from the Bears was an interesting move from the Bears and from some of these NFL teams that didn't want to, give up the price for him. But he's, a 24-year-old corner. I think that he's really good. I think he's scheme versatile. And he wouldn't have been top of the market cornerback money either. So I think some of these teams, whether it be the Cowboys or the Bills or because the Bills could have went out and tried to get Jalen Johnson because Tre'Davious White may never be what he was again. And they were already struggling at CB2. So I think not trying to make a move for Jalen Johnson for one of these teams might have been a mistake. But I don't sit and see any team, outside of, maybe the Chiefs for a wide receiver that really made a big mistake.
Dalton, if you were running the NFL, the reason why I don't think there's as many trades as there should be, besides the fact that for 50 years there were no trades, so this is now new foreign thought to most GMs, but also a lot of these guys, if they let them go to free agency, they're going to get some form of compensatory pick. So like with Johnson, for instance, you could say to the Bears GMs on the phone, probably saying to other GMs, listen, if I just let this guy go to free agency, I'm going to get a blank. You got to do much better than that for me to trade him to you. If I was running the league, I might get rid of the compensatory picks. Then the NFL would turn into hockey and baseball.
It's not a bad decision. I think that a lot of teams really do value those compensatory picks. The Dallas Cowboys, again, I keep going back to them, but it's who I know the best. They love their compensatory picks, and they'll not make deals in free agency because they don't want to lose their compensatory picks. And a lot of these teams do that. I think to get the intrigue, to get more fire going into the trade deadline and in free agency, getting rid of the compensatory process wouldn't be a horrible decision. It complicates everything, the compensatory picks do. Anyways, I think that, the minority hire compensatory picks are a cool deal. I think that it's upsetting that it has to come to that at times. But I do think that incentivizing movement a little bit more is never a bad thing. This is a league that wants your attention 24/7. And so it is a little bit curious that they consistently do things to take away from that. I think another thing that they should do is move the trade deadline back a week or two. Move it to the week right before Thanksgiving. Give these teams a little bit more time. Teams pushing for the playoffs, teams that, are still maybe fighting for a playoff spot right now that aren't going to be fighting for a playoff spot 2 weeks from now, that could make that decision to be sellers in that kind of instance. So I think that moving the trade deadline back a little bit would be one thing. And then also, like you said, getting rid of compensatory picks might be another option.
Switching to what's actually going on the field. When you look at San Francisco after last week, now losing 3 in a row, is there a problem with Brock Purdy? Should he even been playing last week? Or is this just a case of a little hiccup and Shanahan will get this fixed?
Yeah, so I'm the wrong person to ask when it comes to head injuries because I've had quite a few myself, and I don't think anybody should be playing, especially 6 days after he had just gotten a concussion. So I don't think that he should have been on the field, but I'm also not a medical doctor, so I can't really make that decision for him. What I will say is that this team and Brock Purdy in general, it's just kind of a regression to the mean. He threw a lot of interceptable passes or some interceptable passes that just weren't caught in the past. And it's something that you've seen it with Patrick Mahomes for his entire career, where, some of those, crazy throws that Josh Allen makes that get picked, they don't really get picked off from Patrick Mahomes all the time. So I think that the turnover luck has gotten bad. I think that it'll kind of even out a little bit. But at the end of the day, Brock Purdy is probably an average to slightly above average quarterback. And if you have a healthy Trent Williams and a healthy Deebo Samuel, and that offense has all of their weapons, it's going to work. You saw it work with Jimmy Garoppolo, and you've seen what Jimmy Garoppolo is outside of the Kyle Shanahan system in Las Vegas now. So I think he's fine for what they want to do, and they're going to just build the best team that they can around him while he is inexpensive. But, he's probably not a guy who is going to be the San Francisco 49ers quarterback for the next decade.
Chiefs Dolphins this Sunday, the 1 seed for the moment, up for grabs. The 6 deals that were made yesterday, I had to laugh. When Cleveland traded Donovan Peoples-Jones, and I got, did Kansas City pick him up? No, it was Detroit. I went, really? I actually think Peoples-Jones would help Kansas City. Do you think the Chiefs have a firepower problem?
I think that they have a firepower problem, and I think that the one thing that Brett Veach cannot do is find a wide receiver or draft a developable wide receiver. He's just bad with them. And we've seen in New England as well. Bill Belichick has not been good, does not have a good track record with drafting and developing wide receivers. And when you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, they legitimately thought that Kadarius Toney was going to be the guy this year. And there is nothing that Kadarius Toney did in New York to suggest that he was going to be the guy ever. So I don't really know what the plan was. The plan was probably just, if it doesn't work out, we have Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes. And listen, that duo is good enough. But if you really wanted to get a little bit of consistency, the only consistent person is Watson in that passing attack. It's the only guy who is getting, throws that are actually on time, in rhythm. And it's just that Patrick Mahomes doesn't seem to trust what is going on around him out there. And he's fantastic. He's unbelievable. He's inhuman. But at the end of the day, there's only so much that he can do, even with all of his God-given talent.
He's Dalton Miller, Pro Football Network, ProFootballNetwork.com, PFN 365 on Twitter/X. And you can follow Dalton on Twitter/X at Dalton, the letter B, Miller, Dalton B. Miller. Dalton, as always, appreciate your time and your insights. Stay well.
Thanks for having me, gentlemen.
Dalton Miller, once again, ProFootballNetwork.com. Really good site, by the way, if you haven't checked it out. We got on it pretty early. Good info.
Chiefs Dolphins.
Yeah.
I want to see what the Dolphins do with this defense, because I've been touting the Chiefs defense for quite a while. And I think it's a lot better unit than it's given credit. And the Dolphins have struggled when they've played good defenses.
Yep. No question. No question. Couple of deals. I mean, the two deals that were made yesterday that you think both fan bases are going, don't you think Chiefs fans are going, well, I know he's not a world beater, but Donovan Peoples-Jones could probably help us out. I mean, he would have caught that pass in the end zone that Skylar Moore dropped. And don't you think Dolph fans saw the Jags acquire Ezra Cleveland for the Vikings for a 6th-round pick and went, wait, we couldn't get him? Really? That would have helped.
And I think Cowboy fans who need a corner look at the Bills and go, they got the corner and we didn't.
And I know Douglas, he's older and he's a slower corner. He plays a little off. Let me tell you something, though. It's funny. You watch him and you're like, how in the world does he keep covering these guys? He's really good. He is. He's like a step ahead. He's really good. I watched him in Vegas. I mean, he went one-on-one against Devontae all night. He had no problems. You would think Devontae just, was so much bigger, faster, whatever. Rasul was with him most of the night. He was like, I got this.
But the Vikings, they're the team that got it done. Joshua Dobbs is a Viking, and all the questions are now answered.
Well, they don't even know if they're ever going to start him. They just said, we wanted to get an experienced quarterback who started games. The Vikings have basically said, listen, the quarterback position the rest of the year, it's going to be jambalaya. We don't know what it's going to look or taste like week to week.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
Yeah. Hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here.
Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're going to have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Live Transportation, 308-8686, or book on saltlivetransportation.com.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Morning.
Why would you fire Josh McDaniels today?
Well, I have to admit, if you saw the offense Monday night, but yeah,
Okay,
it's interesting. It's interesting timing.
In season, it's just always weird. What did we like? Did we like those blue helmets?
I hated everything about it.
Okay.
But that's
I
me.
thought the uniform was hideous. The
Trent?
helmet could work.
I liked the helmet.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought the uniform was bad.
Yeah, the helmet could work somewhere.
The helmet will look great with the white jerseys and the blue pants.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Because there's not enough. It just doesn't work. If your helmet is like a blatant other color, I just feel like that doesn't work.
I think it could have worked in a Marvel movie.
Could have.
That's a good take, David.
Somebody wrote, are they playing the Montreal Alouettes?
Yeah, it looked like an Arena League uniform or something like that.
I miss my CFL. I don't get to see the CFL anymore. I miss having multiple Rough Riders.
Rough Riders. The Ottawa Rough Riders?
And the Saskatchewan Rough Riders.
Exactly. It was great when they played each other.
Did you guys see the Heritage Classic last Sunday? The Oilers versus Calgary outdoor game? Wow, that looked cool.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Tennessee Titans wearing the Houston
That's what I
Oilers
thought too.
uniforms.
No, we've had that conversation.
But I knew it was Tennessee, and Seth, I'm watching it, having to wait for them to put, because the ticker wasn't on. It was a replay, and I'm going, who is that? Is that the Texans or is that the Titans?
It was silly. Luckily, there were 9 games going on in the early, so I was watching every other thing going on. I barely saw the Houston Oilers, Tennessee Titans debacle.
Did you go to the Devils Wild game?
No.
Okay. Because my buddy's a big Devils fan. He went with his wife.
We were talking about it, but my daughter's friend got in trouble, so they couldn't go. Luckily, it was before we considered buying tickets. I blew off trick-or-treating for the first time.
What?
I know. But it wasn't like deliberate. Like I just, it was 48 degrees and I have a 12-year-old and a 15-year-old and they were on their own. I didn't need to be out there. I worked on Sports with Friends. It was great.
Oh, I just thought, so you didn't, so this is the first time that we'll talk about this.
I didn't go
We'll
with
talk
them.
about this.
Okay.
This is important.
This is important.
It is. What are you going to do? Talk about sports?
Yeah, we're going to talk about baseball. You
Come
don't
on.
care.
I didn't see a lick.
Well, you're not alone.
I've heard.
Yes, DC, yes. The Carabao Cup?
Carabao Cup today, 3:30. I'll be there.
Oh, let me guess.
I got to take
English,
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
And just like that, it's the 8 o'clock hour on a hump day. It also has to be November 1st. Thanks for being with us. Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Bud Elliott, talk all things college football in a little over 35 minutes time. But it's our pleasure to welcome back our buddy, Seth Everett. He of Sports with Friends and Hall of Justice. Follow him on Twix, Twitter/X at Seth_Everett. Good morning. How are you wearing your Saft Aftra shirt? You know, I ran into picket workers in strikers in Detroit, the casino workers at the MGM Grand. They're unhappy. They want more money.
I don't blame them. There's a lot of strikes that are going on.
I know.
Out there.
And
I went to the picket line last week during the NAB, the National Association of Broadcasters Conference. The picket line was right there. I did a little combo action. I picketed
So
in the
you
morning
worked and struck.
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of an oxymoron?
No, that's not what it is.
I did a little bit of working, and then I went on strike for a little bit.
Hey, listen, I'll be here to support you, but first I got to go in. I got to go do something.
I got to get a paycheck.
I'll be right back.
I'm right here with you guys. I'm with you all the way. Let me go get my work done.
But I got to go cut a podcast. I'll be right back.
Yep.
Don't go anywhere.
Yep. So yeah.
Listen, they were following me. Okay, I crossed the street and they saw me coming. Okay, and they had drums. They were making noise and they're walking behind me as I'm walking into the casino. I turned around. I said, "I'm not staying here. I am meeting someone for lunch. I'm not even going to gamble. I am not crossing your line.
Nope.
I'm here for the football game."
And then they targeted you?
No, they kept banging the drum.
Scab.
No, they didn't say anything. They just made a lot of noise. Okay, they thought I was stealing signs for the Astros.
Well.
Oh well.
Strikes are still going, man.
Guess we can't tell those jokes with Seth anymore. All right.
What? I don't know.
Strikes are still going every once in a while. There's a few balls too, Seth.
How about there you go.
I mean,
if I had that would have been a better line. Oh well.
Hey, have you watched any of the World Series?
Not a throw, not a warm up. I turned it on once and I saw A-Rod and I said, nope.
So this sport has completely. This sport
No.
has
It's not that. Texas, by the way, is the team that announcers take off when their team travels to. Texas is the team that you skip whenever you possibly can. And Arizona, they have been the lead story in Phoenix half this week. The Suns are very interesting to them. The Cardinals' dilemmas are interesting to them. They half care. So if the local markets barely care, I'm not compelled to any of this. And it's not, I watched 2 to 3 baseball games a week this season. I saw a lot this season. This World Series, this whole postseason has been a big yawn.
It was a great regular season too, and ratings were up, and attendance was up, and so far it's true. The postseason has lacked, a little bit in the NLCS. There, it went 7, had some drama, had a surprise winner, but definitely think the World Series lost something when the Phillies had more star power than the Diamondbacks.
True, and Philly, they had been to the World Series the year before. This was their next level, and they were up 3-2 and they lost.
Back to you in the studio.
Oy vey. Let's go to A-Rod. Get his take.
Isn't that fascinating, by the way, that the networks fell in love with him? I mean, when you really think about it, the fact that he's even had a post-baseball career. I mean, a multiple-time cheater, admitted and otherwise. I mean, we have to even now question, probably not Seattle, but he's even admitted he was doing it in Texas. And we have to question most of his Yankees career.
Sure. His voice to me sounds like fingernails on a chalkboard. I literally could not find my remote faster. I put Panthers Bruins I put on because of A-Rod. Kraken Lightning, I watched a little of that just because I saw his. I was like, oh, the World Series. And then all of a sudden I said, oh, God, this guy, goodbye. And I love Kevin Burkhardt. He's a dear friend. Big fan. I can't imagine him being in a room.
I'm trying to think of the equivalent, though, to put on air in another sport, because to your point, I mean, he's a cheater. We all think of him as a cheater.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think who would be the equivalent to put on in other sports, because you don't usually get someone who's universally despised.
Urban Meyer.
Oh, that's interesting. That is interesting. Although he didn't, most people don't think he achieved his success improperly. They just question him personally and his behavior. Well, I mean,
A-Rod's a saint compared to that clown.
Well, but that's off the field, though.
Doesn't matter.
It's off the field.
They're
Nobody's
still scumbags.
questioning. No
Yeah.
one's questioning the
Yeah.
championships he won at Florida and Ohio State. We can question all 696, 3, 4, whatever it is of A-Rod's home runs.
Yeah. Yep.
But I do think that's interesting that you go Urban Meyer. I mean, because
I'm trying to think
morally,
of a person.
well, no,
'cause
but
normally
morally,
the broadcaster.
he's right there.
Yeah, normally the broadcaster is irrelevant to me. You know what I mean? Like I like it because I know a lot of these guys and whatever, and we're in the media. But normally the broadcaster can only get in the way. You know, and in this circumstance, whenever I see either one of them, I turn it off.
I don't think it's a coincidence that both guys are employed by the same network. Fox is into stars. They are. They're into names. They're into stars. And it goes all the way back. It goes 30 years. Who were the first two people that Fox hired? Summerall and Madden.
Sure.
You know, they got the NFL. They hired those two.
But them I liked watching.
No, but I'm just talking about the network as a whole. I mean, for 30 years, look at what their pregame show is. I mean, if you're not a Hall of Famer, you don't need to be on this set from noon to 1.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they have a hell of a transition coming up because that's an old booth, or from a pregame show standpoint.
Yeah. In the next couple of years, between Jimmy Johnson is week to week. I mean, he has publicly said for a few years now he really wants to retire.
Well, do you guys think Tom Brady takes the deal? You think Tom Brady calls a game?
No, I'm on record saying he never does a game.
Yeah.
Even though
people disagree, I don't know. I don't know him. I know people who swear by him. Friends of mine swear by Tom Brady. They say he is the nicest human being, great guy, a mensch.
Could be. That's still, does he want to own the Raiders or does he want to be a broadcaster?
I don't know. That's a great guess, but there's a lot of great odds on that. Like on sports books, like will Tom Brady call a game?
I actually think it's more family. He's got 3 teenagers. He's been away from them. He could still play, and he decided, listen, my time to retire is now. I got 3 teens. I got to be a dad. Well, if you're doing games every week, so you're not going to see your kids for 24 weekends in a row? I'm serious. I mean, that would seem to be the time to, go and watch whatever they're doing and what have you. And then, if you do the broadcasting thing, especially, he's Sundays at 4:25. He ain't going to be there for 22 to 24 consecutive weekends with 3 teenagers. That's the reason why I ultimately think he goes, what am I doing?
What am I doing? Yeah. Meanwhile, I have a teenager and an almost teenager, and I skipped Halloween.
Is this the first one that you let him go free?
That was the first one. I opened the door, and I felt the 48 degrees, and I said, you guys are going to be on your own pretty much. Yeah, one of them went to a house, and they had like a little party. The other one went with like 6 of her friends. She's 12. I can go. She can go by herself down the street. I don't need to be there. I stayed home. I worked on Sports with Friends. I was in bliss. I love when this house is empty. Oh, it's brilliant.
Do you steal any of the daughter's candy?
No. I haven't. Look, we don't want to do a whole segment, but if anybody knows about intermittent fasting, I've been doing that. I am not eating until noon. From 8 p.m. to noon, I don't eat anything.
You and Joe Buck's stats guy, Ed Svita, he's doing that too.
Yeah, it's been working.
Yeah, it's worked with him. He's lost. He looks good. Yeah.
Well, I don't
By
look
the way,
good, but I don't look good, but it works.
From noon to 8, that means you could steal your daughter's candy.
Right, but we haven't had that yet.
So at noon, you'll find the daughter's candy, is what you're telling us.
Oh, there's a Milky Way with my name on it. No, I'm just kidding. Just
kidding. Sports with Friends, Hall of Justice. What do you got, Seth?
Sports with Friends, Roy Firestone. Guy who's got a ton of stories. Probably the easiest podcast I ever had to do. Guy can't stop talking. He was brilliant. Told a Muhammad Ali, Richard Nixon, Elton John story that cracked me up. Turns out he listened to me on XM 10 years ago. Very strange. It was a great podcast. Hall of Justice is the history of Marvel Studios. We've done history of Marvel Comics. This one is Marvel Studios with someone who wrote a book.
What is Roy Firestone doing?
He has like a lounge act. He performs in Las Vegas. He reached out after I had Jerry Schimmel on the podcast. He was a big fan of that podcast. And he said, I'd love to do your show. And I said, sure. Let's book it.
Okay.
He was great. The Muhammad Ali story, I asked him about OJ. We talked a lot about OJ Simpson, his interview 4.5 years before the murders. I compared it to Aaron Hernandez and the Patriots and how they should have gotten their cap space back. It's a big teaser. I can't explain the whole thing in the time we have, but it's a great podcast.
Seth Everett, Sports with Friends, Hall of Justice. Follow him on Twix, Twitter/X at Seth
Twix would be
_Everett.
good at noon too.
Twix would be good. Yeah, absolutely.
Three Musketeers. That's what we could call us.
They could, but the candy bar would get upset. Thanks, Seth. Seth Everett, kind enough to join us every week at this time. Bud Elliott will do so in 25 minutes. We'll talk some college football.
Washington got hosed. They should be in the playoff.
They will be.
Seth.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Worth.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
He does Mello. He does social media for the City of Palms tournament. And as for the Thanksgiving tournament at FSW, I think he's just part of the building crew. I mean, hell, his first year there, we saw him at one point. He was cleaning the floor, but I think he's just, a body, and they tell him what to do. Oh, Firestone does the best impressions.
Ten seconds.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Top of the morning to you. How the heck are you? Hump Day edition, Miller and Moulton, 1st of November. How was Halloween? How much candy are you stealing from your kid or kids? Huh, Mark? Huh?
It'll all start today. I was still stealing. I know at our house, we're going to go through one big bag of candy. That's about all we go through. That's about the number of kids that we get. Let them all have 2, 3. We don't get a ton of kids at our house.
Okay.
So at some point when I bought 2 bags of candy, believe it or not, it was actually the wife one night that needed something. She's like, I need something. Do we have anything I can snack on? I go, yeah, open the bag of candy. Well, once I get her to open it, that bag was destroyed. That was all that was left in that bag was Almond Joy. Everything else was gone. There was a few of those York peppermint patties and Almond Joy. Everything else gone. So the wife says, we need a second bag. You need to go to Costco and buy another bag of candy. I'm like, no, we don't. We got one bag. I need a backup. So now there's a full bag of candy left. And I told her to take it to work today, because if not, I have no willpower. I'll destroy it. So we'll see if she took the bag of candy with her to work and gave that to the coworkers. If that's the case, then all I can do is steal from the daughter. And I will, at least for a day, have self-control, restraint, fear of stealing from my kid and getting caught, all of those things.
And fortunately, I got home, it was too late. Halloween had already come and gone, and there's no candy in this house.
You don't have trick-or-treaters, did you?
No.
It's a condo. There's no trick-or-treaters at condos.
No, 3rd floor condo too. No.
There's no kids. There's nothing.
No, nothing. Which we're attached to an entire community, though. Okay, the building I live. There's 24 condos in my building, but across the water, there's an entire housing community there, and there are kids in it. I mean, they could easily just walk around the water. I mean, it's not a far walk, and in theory, we're sitting ducks here. You got 24 doors in one building.
Knock on a door, they're going to get yelled at. They're fearful. I mean, you've already been yelled at, and you own one of the condos.
Right. Well, I had the audacity to try to make it better. So 6 trades in the NFL yesterday. Is there one you didn't like in which you said, what the heck are they doing? Was it the Bears and Montez Sweat?
I think giving up the second rounder for Sweat was a head scratcher. You like it because you think they can build the defense around him. He's a good player.
He's a very good player. I mean, he's got 6.5 sacks in his defensive tackle. I mean, he's a very good player. Now, you could argue he's not great. You could argue he's not build the defense around. The Bears' defensive numbers are terrible. For 3 years, they've been bad. They're bottom 3 in the league, Mark, in basically every major defensive category. There's all this talk about the quarterback. The quarterbacks in Chicago have been under a lot of pressure for the last handful of years because their defense is doing nothing but giving up points. I thought they could have got him.
How
for
much it
3.
immediately makes them better to give up what you gave up? You gave up a top 40 pick.
You did.
I
agree.
Someone that you've got for 4 years.
I agree. I wish they had only given up a 3rd rounder, and I would have said to Washington, come on, man. I mean, we're going to be drafting in the top 5. I can't give you a 2nd rounder. I can give you a 3rd rounder.
That's 2 years in a row. The Bears are going to give up pick 33, or that ended up being 32 because of the Dolphins thing. And this year, this will be, no worse than 40.
Right. So Washington gets rid of half their defensive line, and they pick up an early 2nd and a late 3rd because they traded Chase Young to the Niners for a 3rd. I love the trade, by the way. Pat Kerwin and I had an argument. He thought the Niners needed to go secondary. I thought they needed to go defensive line. They're the bottom 25% of the league in terms of sacks and pressure rate and what have you. I mean, they got all those names on that defensive line. They ain't getting it done. The new defense coordinator is going to get blamed because the last 2 became head coaches. They did such a good job.
Well, and in Washington, I think the new regime has set itself up for a great draft.
No doubt. Bill Belichick's going to have great picks.
Well, that's too bad. I hope they have someone in charge of personnel because he's not going to do anything with those drafts. He'll get Cole Strange.
Who was a strange pick at the end of the 1st round a couple of years ago. I like the Jags picking up the starting offensive lineman from the Vikings. I question the Vikings giving him up, but they played without him last week, and they did fine, so they figured, we could play half a year without him. But, I mean, for a 6th, if you lose him to free agency, aren't you going to get like a 6th as a compensatory pick? Wouldn't you just keep him around? I don't know. Like the Bills trade of Rasul Douglas. I do. He's a competent corner. They need one. I will say, though, he's got nothing. The Dolphins will throw at Rasul all day. I mean, he can't cover Tyreek, but then again, who can?
Who can?
But you'll be surprised. Okay, he'll cover Waddle, and you'll be like, how the hell's he doing it? Great question. Richard Sherman did it for a lot of years too, and he couldn't really run with those guys either. And until the very end, Richard Sherman was okay. So, but we had 6 trades. And we had a coach and a GM fired in the middle of the night. If you missed it, the Raiders cleaned house. They announced it at like 10:30 Pacific. How did that go? I mean, you let them get through the trade deadline, which is 1:00 out there. Then what? You had dinner together? Talked about the second half of the season?
I mean, like you said, they didn't move the certain player you wanted them to. They didn't do anything at the trade deadline, so then you fired them?
What? Oh, man. You know what surprises me here? That they fired the GM. And I know they had a package. I understand getting rid of Josh. I do. It wasn't working. The guys, I mean, their offensive numbers are abysmal. They're bottom 3 in the league. First off, they're Josh Jacobs are the worst rushing team in the league. What the heck is up with that? He led the league in rushing last year. They're bottom 3 in points. They have not scored more than 21 points in a game this year. By the way, the only reason they got to 21 in that game, the defense forced a safety in the final 2 minutes. On their own, they have not scored 20 points in a game. I mean, they're woeful on offense. He's an offensive guy. You threw Derek Carr out on the street for Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, not Aaron Rodgers, not Kirk Cousins. You threw Derek Carr on the street for Jimmy Garoppolo. I think I would have kept the GM for a few more months, Mark.
Just to steer the ship in until the end of the season, if you know what I mean.
And also, I think I'd want to see whether or not the GM was catering to his head coach. They were a package deal.
You're not keeping that GM, so it doesn't matter. I mean, to me, the only thing you'd have been doing is trying to make yourself look like a competent franchise for the rest of the season before you get rid of them. It's the only reason you were keeping them. I'm paying them, so you might as well do some work.
You know what they don't do in football? They do it in other sports. Like, football does the interim head coach thing till the rest of the year. I mean, Mark, you and I are hockey guys. No, they fire somebody. They may have an interim guy for like 3 days. They bring in the permanent replacement. Same thing with general manager. The interim guy for a week. Then they bring in the guy who's going to run the show. That's what the Raiders need to do here. I want to have somebody to be around these guys for a couple months to get their own evaluations of what I have. We're obviously going to make major changes, but I want them to at least get as much insight in what it is we have.
Problem is you're going to another team and you're not going to be able to get the guy that you want right now. So you're just bringing in an evaluator to help whoever the new people are. I mean, you're torn. We're not torn about Bud Elliott. He's next. We'll talk the college football playoff committee and everything else having to do with Saturdays right here on Miller and Moulton.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
The waterways of Naples are a beauty to behold, and the Bayfront Inn has multiple ways for guests to enjoy the water and have some fun. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn. Something for everyone. On 5th Avenue in Naples.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Sonny, it's college football. There will never be an asterisk.
Hey, Bud.
What's going on, guys?
Good to see
Hey,
you.
man.
you up to?
We can put you back at 7:38. Remember, you were the one this year who wanted to go to 8:38.
Kind of weird day. Let the kids sleep in after Halloween, you know, a little sugar crash. And then you got the debate, like, do you let them eat the candy in the morning, then send them off, let the teacher deal with it with the crash? I think totally. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Good bargaining by the son. You know, we started off with like a little mini Snickers, a Reese's cup, and then he's like, I've never had this lemon. Look at that. Like, that's a lemon head. We probably need to have that too. So he is loaded up for sure. The 18-month-old does not go anywhere today, so he is limited on the cat. I like my wife wants to deal with him, just powdered caddy for breakfast. So,
how old's the oldest?
4.
Oh,
so
yeah. Well, that whole room though today will be just.
Yeah,
I mean, today's the day. If you work there, you're like seriously consider. Should I call in today?
Yeah. You're just waiting to get to nap time.
Today's the day you provide like the Total Wine gift card at the end of the year for it. Like Starbucks gift card. Okay, it's a Christian school, but like you kind of there's sort of a knowing nod. Like, yeah, this is going to take a little something extra.
Yeah.
Oh man.
You guys want to pick up your kids early today?
Early dismissal.
Half hour, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So we've had a lot of fun with this Stallion story. Here's our thing. Like if you're the local TV sports guy, so we imagine working in Michigan or Ohio, and every single time we talk about this story, we either play Corey Hart's Sunglasses at Night, Tesla's signs, everywhere there's signs. Mark, what's the Dylan one you want to go with?
Oh, I think I can't remember the song, but the old video where he just had the place cards and he just keeps throwing one card after another. And Excess did the same thing. I'd do it every newscast.
Yeah. This story is amazing. And like at this point, I'm kind of like, what could be revealed that you'd be like, no way?
How about that? That he got a sideline pass and he's standing 5 feet from the coordinators and the head coach, dressed like he works for them.
Do you think it's a real sideline pass, or do you think he scammed it and
that would be incredible.
No, I think it's a real sideline pass. I think that the Michigan people have buddies on the Central Michigan staff.
I agree with that.
I think he asked his buddy for a pass, and the guy said, "Yeah, sure."
But I also don't think that I don't think it's unreasonable to think you could fake one of these. Like some of the security at these places is really, really lax.
But
like they don't scan them; they just you just kind of wave them.
But before 9/11, you could get a Super Bowl credential with a driver's license and a business card.
100%.
I mean, yeah.
10 seconds.
Yeah. There's some other stuff. I don't want to say it on air, but yeah,
right.
It still really bad.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
22 minutes until we're done along the network. The Diamond District bonus hour awaits in the 239. Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. He's been a longtime friend of the show, and we're grateful now that he's made it big. He still keeps us on his docket. He is Bud Elliott, 24/7 Sports, Cover 3, NoCast, CBS, whatever. Okay, follow him on Twix, Twitter/X, Bud Elliott 3, Bud Elliott 3. How you doing?
I'm doing well. This is a fun time in college football. Like this time last year, we already had 7 coaches fired for on-field performance. This year, so far, 0. But we have a lot of other drama going on, which is it's fun.
We certainly do. And obviously the biggest drama is what's going on with the University of Michigan. The sign stealing. Was their coach on the Central Michigan sidelines scouting Michigan State or helping against Michigan State, whatever you want to say. As we were talking before the break, Bud, this is stuff that it's getting to the point where you'd have trouble making up something that fits this narrative because it's getting crazier and crazier by the day.
This is staffs steal signs. Yes. Do I think other staffs do things that are similar to Michigan? Actually, kind of, yeah. but also not in this way, like not so stupidly, right? Bruce Feldman this morning of The Athletic had a good quote, and I wonder if we talked to the same guy, because I had a guy tell me almost the exact same thing. He's a head coach, and he said, they honestly deserve to be punished just for being so stupid, because if you did this smartly, you could get away with this for a long time. But almost every way they did this was just dumb as hell. Sending the guy that works for you, allegedly, to go to Central Michigan to scout Michigan State, and he's wearing glasses which have a little light on them. It looks a little bit like those was it Ray-Bans or Oakleys that actually like have a video camera in there, right? Like it's and you're wearing them at night with like a fake goatee. I don't know. It's a very weird, very crazy story. You gotta love it. What a sport, man.
The committee, we figured they just, they have a company credit card and they hadn't used it in a while. And they said, hey, can we put a vote together? Can we go to Dallas for the weekend and just, wine and dine? And the conferences said, yeah, sure, fine, whatever. Just make sure you add an extra school of ours in the top 25. I know you don't watch. You've said now I don't pay attention till the very, 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 very end. Is there anything at all, however, by what they released yesterday that you find interesting, precedent setting, or is it all just a show?
I definitely don't think there's any precedent setting within this. I do think that the committee basically colludes to rank teams that have big time games coming up so that they look better. Like now, Ole Miss is number 10. That game's on ESPN. What channel is the playoff show on? Oh, it's on ESPN. Now that Ole Miss A&M game this weekend is a top 10 matchup that we can all promote because they have that number 10 in front of them. People like to watch top 10 matchups. They really just they contradict themselves week to week with the stated reasoning. But I like that last night they just didn't pretend. From the replay I watched, they appear to just contradict themselves literally team to team, like in the same night. So I was like, good guys, let's just admit what this is. It's a made for TV product. I did check my FanDuel app and my DraftKings and my Caesars. You know what? Ain't none of the playoff odds to make the playoff have changed. It's very weird. It's almost like the guys who stand to lose money if they're wrong, if they think all of these playoff rankings for 10 weeks is BS. The last one's really predictable. The first 9 are just, I think it's made for show. That's why they don't have me on the rankings reaction show anymore, I think, because every time they're like, Bud, do you have any thoughts? It's like, yeah, it's all BS.
Little behind the scenes also. CBS has used up their allotment of Georgia games, and so they're not going to be able to televise the Georgia Ole Miss game. So by putting Ole Miss at 10, ESPN gets them in the top 10 for the A&M game, and then they're also going to get them in the top 10 when they play Georgia.
I think there's a 6th game exemption that they could use.
Trust me, we've tried.
Okay,
we ain't getting it.
All right. Well, okay. What if Ole Miss loses A&M this weekend?
Well, then
they're 3-point favorites in Oxford. That's kind of interesting.
Then ESPN's game isn't as good. But my understanding is, we got Georgia, Missouri at 3:30 this week, and we're doing Georgia, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Okay. So Georgia, that's my understanding. Just saying.
And I know you don't make much of the rankings, but they did tell Florida State there's no way you get in with one loss. The ACC schools got to be undefeated, because that was the contradiction that I laughed at. They've played a good schedule. They deserve to be ranked maybe a little bit better than 4th, but they're just telling everybody you're in the ACC and you don't matter unless you put a donut up there.
I don't know if that's actually true. For a couple reasons. One, the odds that we have a 2-loss Big 12 and a 2-loss Pac-12 champion are actually pretty good.
2-loss?
Yeah. Have you guys thought about this? Like the odds, first of all, like the odds that we have a one-loss team versus a 2-loss team in those championship games, pretty high, actually. It's not that improbable, especially in the Big 12. And all you need to do is have the 2-loss team win against the 1-loss team. All of a sudden you got a 2-loss champ.
So you don't think it's going to be a Washington-Oregon rematch?
I think that's the most likely scenario, but it's not like an overwhelming probability that it is, right? Like those teams could still beat each other up, especially if Washington continues to play. Washington's favored by 3 this weekend at that USC team that nobody thinks is any good, right? And we got 3 weeks of data on USC just looking like pretty pathetic against any team with a pulse. and they're still only 3-point dogs at home to the Huskies. So pick up a loss there. You can pick up a loss along the way, and you beat Oregon in a rematch. Now you're a 2-loss Washington champion. I'm saying, like, we speak with a lot of certainty as to what's going to come out of those leagues. And as somebody with a 60-1 Oklahoma State ticket, I'm really hoping Oklahoma State can get this home. But like, guys, Oklahoma State could beat Oklahoma this weekend. They'll still be an underdog at UCF the following week. Like, there's a lot of chaos that could come in those two leagues for sure. Also, look, Florida State's odds to make the playoff right now are 70%. That's according to Vegas. That's a lot higher than their odds to go undefeated. So there's a lot of wiggle room that Vegas is implying with those odds that they get in with a loss. It's counterintuitive after just 9 weeks, but there's still a lot of football left to be played.
As somebody who makes his living on college football, what if Michigan goes 12-0, 13-0? Okay. I mean, honestly, just for the sport. Okay. Does the sport actually need Penn State or Ohio State to just take Michigan off the board? Can you do us that favor? We'll see how this sucker resolves, but could one of you two just do us a favor and push this to the side? Because, we don't need what we've had in college basketball and other sports. We don't need the Astros thing where we don't need it.
I sort of assume that, like, all teams that are winning at the really high level are cheating in some form or fashion, whether that's covering up crimes, sending people across the country to steal signs, et cetera. Like, look at all the precautions LSU took when they had to face Saban in the 2011 game, right? Why do you think that is? Because they used to employ the guy, right? There's a lot of people that are really worried about signs getting stolen. So I'm fine with it as far as like them. But the other thing I think that will help people get over this is that they didn't do it this year against Ohio State, and they didn't do it this year against Penn State. The two games that people think really matter for Michigan are post them getting caught.
Yeah,
right?
But they know the signs. It's tough to change signs.
It's not tough to change signs with a month to prep.
It's not for the coach and the quarterback. It is for the other guys.
Look, teams do change signs. They do. Like, or you can go wristbands. There's a lot of ways to do it, especially if you have that much time to prep.
Well, allegedly, TCU changed theirs last year. I mean, they heard about it and changed their signs up. So, I mean, it can be done.
Yeah, I don't think that it's – look, it's not good for the sport, although it does bring a lot of attention to it, right?
Do you think ultimately, though, that Michigan could just, let's just say they go 15-0, they win the national title, and goodness knows they're capable of doing it. I mean, should somebody who's not on the Michigan payroll basically say, listen, come on, Auburn bought Cam Newton. Okay, can we just stop this? This is college football. Okay, blank happens. It just does. Okay, move on.
That's what I think will happen. Now, the thing is, we argue about asterisks and all this kind of stuff forever in college football. That's part of what keeps the sport popular, because there's not a lot of data points, especially not a lot of common data points. It's hard to know, like, was this conference really better than that conference? Shared national titles, all this kind of stuff forever, right? That's part of what keeps the sport alive, is all of the arguing. In the NFL, there's less arguing because everybody kind of plays each other. There's a lot of common data points. At the end, you sort of figure out who's the best, and you have the playoffs and a lot of playoff games. So I don't think it's necessarily good for the sport, but I'm not convinced it's disastrous for the sport.
Well, and I mean, that's what we're getting next year. When we go to 12 teams in two major conferences, we are getting an NFL model, because as nice as the playoff would be this year with the Pac-12 strong and the Big 12 still with Texas and Oklahoma, next year it's going to be just what you talked about, bud.
Yeah, exactly. Now, interestingly here, 5 teams from the new SEC, 5 teams from the Pac-12 are, quote unquote, top 12 right now. There ain't no way those conferences are combining to get 10 teams in. I think the max would be like 7.
Could be 8, but okay. Hey, quickly.
Yeah, I think it's possible. Like I guess 8 is possible. Like 9 will not happen.
Okay, quickly. Last week, like you mentioned, okay, we talked about Cal against USC, nearly happened. We talked about Kansas against Oklahoma. Upset alert this week. Like, Texas is only a 4-point favorite at home against K-State because they're playing their backup quarterback. Florida State's at Pitt. Ask an undefeated Miami team who was number 2 in the country a few years ago about going to Pitt, okay, and having them ruin your season when they're below 500. Okay, I'm just curious, does Missouri have anything for Georgia? Bedlam. What are you thinking?
I mean, Bedlam could certainly happen. It's hard for me to see Oklahoma being just this short of a favorite, but maybe they're just not that good, right? Like their game against Cincinnati looks worse every single successive game that Cincinnati plays. Their game against SMU, like they did struggle a little bit in that one. It was mostly turnover fueled. So I could see the Bedlam one. I could see Kansas State winning against Texas because we don't have a great sample set on what quarterback Malik Murphy is, right? Ewers, I'm assuming, is still out this week. On the other hand, like Texas really has done a good job of shredding Kansas State's defense the last 2 years. Like they just seem to have a good matchup there based on how Kansas State rotates and does things. Like Sark seems to be able to find ways to get guys just wide open. So Kansas State will have to fix that. It's an interesting weekend for the SEC. Like if you want to claim SEC superiority, you need Kentucky not to lose Mississippi State. You need Ole Miss to beat A&M, right? Bama's a 3-point favorite. Florida is a 6-point favorite in the Swamp over a pretty bad Arkansas team. If you're Georgia, you're like, hey, can we please get some favorites to win this weekend? Like I'm Florida, Kentucky, Ole Miss. Like all of y'all are on our schedule. I'm looking at you. But I mean, what's the chance we get 3-0 in those? We'll see. Somebody's going to be pretty pissed off.
How do you see Bama LSU?
I actually like Bama. I earlier in the season, I was taking some LSU numbers that were larger, especially after they lost to Florida State. But I mean, guys, LSU's down a bunch of dudes in the secondary, and the only 2 games they've had to play with this sort of newish secondary are Army with a true freshman backup quarterback who played for Aquinas over in Lauderdale, and Auburn. So we really haven't seen them tested. I'm not saying Bama's passing game is great shakes, but it's certainly a lot better than what Auburn and Army have.
But wouldn't this be the Alabama team you'd want to face with a suspect secondary? And let's face it, this is the best offense Alabama's faced this year. It's better than Texas. This is their best quarterback, 27 TDs and 3 interceptions. I mean, if they only had 1 loss, we'd be talking about Daniels for the Heisman.
LSU, totally agree. LSU has played, I think, 1 defense that is even close to what Bama is, and that's FSU in Orlando. And they held them to 17 before garbage time. Right now, it involved 2 goal line stands, so let's call it 24 as far as like expected points outcome type thing. Still, like is 20. Are you going to score 30 plus in Tuscaloosa? I don't know. You have not had a whole lot of guys put hands on these LSU receivers. FSU is the only team that really tried to challenge them. Ole Miss couldn't cover them. Auburn couldn't cover them. Those aren't very good defenses this year. They're okay-ish, but especially not in the secondary. I think Bama's going to be able to defend them decently.
He's Bud Elliott. 24/7 Sports, CBS Sports HQ, Nolecast, Cover 3 Podcast. Follow him on Twix, Twitter/X, Bud Elliott 3, Bud Elliott 3. All right, 10 seconds, literally. Upset special. Go.
Middle Tennessee State to go beat New Mexico State. Huge disparity in schedule strength through 9 weeks.
It's always the marquee game, Mark.
It is. That's what we bring them on. Middle Tennessee State, New Mexico.
That's the 3rd time he's mentioned New Mexico State this year on our show. He's all over them.
Look, they don't ask, where'd you get it? They say cash or card.
And with Bud Elliott, it's always cash. He's bringing it every time. Bud, thanks so much, as always. Miller and Moulton, thanks so much along the network for listening. The Diamond District Bonus Hour is next, right here on the Florida Sports Network.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accident. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
All right, just text me how much. Man, this guys, we need to talk. It's a double-edged sword. So last night, my wife was a piranha. All right. But when she's like that, you know, nothing gets done. Woke up this morning. Oh, so happy.
Sunshine and roses, huh?
So since she's excited, what did she do before 9 a.m.? She got on the phone. She started ordering gifts. Yeah.
For whom?
Mark, Christmas is around the corner.
My wife is already, I think, done with Christmas shopping.
During the 8 o'clock hour while we were talking to Seth and Bud, I think my wife spent $300.
Phone just kept beeping.
Golly. This is double-edged. I mean, because the woman I dealt with last night, she needs to move out, but I don't know if I can afford the one that's here. So this is tough, man. But she's happy. So I guess I gotta. Chad, that's not why you're single. Be honest. I know why you're single. You chose this profession. That's a you problem. Okay. And because of it, you make no money and you work awful hours. That's why you're single. Trent, that's your future, by the way.
Looking forward to it.
I will tell you, he is the spitting image of Philly in that Philly and Miami stuff on every day.
Detroit.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It is the Diamond District bonus hour, and since Halloween is come and gone, it's Christmas season. That's right. Get the decorations out, the tree. Forget Thanksgiving. It's done. Throw it to the side.
We'll give that turkey a day.
Right.
But other than that, it's Christmas season, and that means get to the Diamond District.
Right. Just come on, shop, go, go, go.
Buy, spend. Apparently, David's wife is Christmas shopping during the show today. It has him a little bit uptight.
Unbelievable. Last night when I came home, horrible mood. Okay. Nothing gets done. No money gets spent in a horrible mood. Wakes up, good night's sleep, great mood. I got to go back to work. Man, just spending money like crazy. But it's going to be a great Christmas. And that's where the Diamond District comes in. You want it to be a great Christmas? Go visit Todd and Jason at the Diamond District. You want to talk about making somebody happy, huh?
So I ran into the both of them yesterday. And Jason's not very happy with me.
Why?
Well, Jason may like sports for more than just entertainment purposes only.
Did you give him a loser?
And
he went 4-1 last week.
He's not making my picks, but certain handicapper we had on our show had one of his big plays go wrong.
Oh, that's a problem.
I shared that with him. I said, you can only do what you wish with my advice. It's not my money.
Right. Did you look right at him and go, I went 4-1?
No, I did not.
No? Oh, boy.
And then the one of them over there, the Ohio State fan, just sat there smirking because, as Jason was all upset over Miami and the non-kneel down and where they could be, but where they are.
Right.
Then they made comments about my alma mater and how bad things are there.
Did you tell them, we're getting urban, relax?
And Todd just sat there with a smile on his face going,
Yeah. Well,
a Buckeye fan. We're undefeated. I guess I
sure.
I didn't say anything. We're undefeated.
And he didn't even know he was about to be undefeated #1. You did say yesterday, by the way, you said, listen, if we're going to do this and do it somewhat accurately, you said, I'd vote Ohio State #1.
Yes. It's the best resume. I don't care what happened last year or the year before. That's not supposed to matter. It would be one thing if they didn't let half their team get drafted into the NFL and they brought all those guys back. But that's not how it works in college sports.
No, that's Michigan. That Michigan, honestly. I mean, they got 7-8 offensive linemen that they think will play in the NFL. All right, their front 7 on defense. I know it's a front 6 now, but their 2 deep's amazing. I mean, Michigan's loaded. They all came back. They all came back. They came back to win a championship. If they had beaten TCU and lost to Georgia, I don't know if half that team returns. But losing to TCU the way they did, those guys said, no, we got unfinished business. This is ridiculous.
You know, I am having a little bit of difficulty because Michigan, I don't know if Michigan was ever a school that was really hated universally, but I'm getting the feeling that by the time the year ends, people are not going to like the University of Michigan. And that warms my heart so much.
Same.
That it almost makes me uncomfortable. Almost.
But see, now the Michigan fan, they've never been able to also play the disrespect card. They've never been able to, only against Notre Dame, and Ohio State, the Ohio State. There's only two teams they've been able to somehow, some way be able to say, we've got a grudge against. Otherwise, they're lofty, vaunted Michigan. Well, now they're going to be mocked Michigan while also being lofty, vaunted Michigan at the same time. Lofty, vaunted, mocked Michigan.
Cheaters.
It's their best team in 25 years, too.
And they're going to be known as cheaters no matter what happens with this team.
Right.
I mean, that's the part of this, David, that they will not be able to escape that. This is the Astros. This is Spygate.
It is.
There's no avoiding it.
No.
David, you say it's their best team in the last 25 years. You're 100% correct. But isn't that somewhat of at some point, don't we have to draw the parallel, the correlation there? Because apparently they've been doing this for 3 years.
Well, I will say.
That's when their success has come.
The defensive numbers and their record against the spread since this has supposedly happened are remarkable. There are even people willing to break it down into their second half success. Like Michigan doesn't divulge in the first half. They know your signs. But in the second half, they spend the first half checking their information to make sure it's right. And in the second half, they employ it. All right. I mean, there's, listen, once you start going down that road, there's a lot of, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
It's a big onion.
Yeah. Okay. But so, yes. And in the last 3 years, Michigan was struggling defensively late, 2018, 19, the pandemic year.
Well, they changed coordinators
right. And they could say we changed coordinators. We got better players. And that's all true. They also apparently had a pretty good idea if you were running or if you were throwing. And you got to admit that helps. I mean, it does. It does. I mean, if you're not guessing, if you're not anticipating, if you're knowing, that helps. You got to acknowledge that.
Yeah, if you can sell out for the run, you're going to do it. If you know the run's coming, you're not bringing any pressure.
And then if what's alleged that TCU had heard about this.
Well, that's the most damning part is right there, David.
I mean, don't you want to interview Sonny Dykes? Don't you want to say, come on, Sonny, you got to talk about this. Okay, is this true? Had you guys heard about it? And so you changed your signs? Because if you watched, I mean, first off, as the game was happening, TCU looked as if they knew exactly what Michigan was going to do. They had perfect play calls when Michigan was blitzing. Weak side blitz, and they run a play right into it. Okay, I mean, honestly. And also, didn't Michigan look like most of that game they were just running around? Like they had no idea what TCU was doing? Didn't Michigan look out of position all game defensively?
Particularly after how good they had just looked against the Buckeyes the last time you had seen them. And in the Big Ten championship game where they dominated.
So, I mean, yeah, I would love for people to come out and actually, by now we know the story with Houston. The only part of the Houston Astros cheating story we're not 100% sold on. We're trying to figure out that Altuve had the buzzer attached to his chest. And when he hit the walk-off homer, against Chapman, and they wanted to come out and mob him, and he was yelling at him, "Don't rip off my jersey, don't rip off my jersey." And that was the way they were cheating, in which they had the buzzer, and so they would hit it, and one was a fastball, two was a curve, and that's how they relayed the signs. It's alleged. We don't know it 100% for sure. Chapman and the Yankees are pretty sure, but we don't know it for sure.
You think we'll ever know?
No.
No.
No Jose Canseco going on in 10 years. Someone writes a book about it, one of the players or anything.
I would have thought it would have happened by now.
Yeah, that's true.
But so, well, hopefully, first off, Todd and Jason, listen, this week, listen to me. I'm Mark Money Miller. Okay.
Let's not get carried away here. I'm a couple games over 500.
Well, but not lately. You're on a roll lately. Last 2 weeks, you are Mark Money Miller.
As long as we stick to 5 games.
Well, that's a you thing. And when you do, you are Mark Money Miller. You even got Toledo in the cover last night.
Don't bet against the Rockets at home on Tuesday night action.
I am David Mush Moulton the last 2 weeks after having a great 5-week run. Great. Not good, not very good. A great 5-week run. But I am mush the last 2 weeks. My play last night was take the Cavs +3. They lost by 18.
I fell asleep to that, trying to stay up for Wemby. That's how bad that game was.
I don't know if he was any good. Apparently, the game was spectacular.
He had the putback.
He had the putback late when probably, in retrospect, should have taken that rebound and kicked it out for a 3-pointer because they were down 3, and out of habit, he dug some. They're down 4 or down 3, missed the 3-point shot. He catches the rebound, puts it back in. Then they steal the ball to get the putback layup, which
it felt like a March Madness game. It felt like a 14 seed beating a 3. Because they were going to play the foul game. I assume that's why he put it back in, because he's thinking we'll put him on the line.
Yeah, they had 5 seconds left. It was just, one of those plays where if you think about it, the play there is probably to catch the ball and kick it out and try to tie the game.
But instead, they get the late steal on Durant, drive in for the layup. They win by 1. Look at this. Talking NBA on November 1st. What the hell happened to this show? Felipe's not even a part of it anymore. Whose fault is this? Can I blame Trent?
You can blame Trent.
Okay.
If Felipe's listening to this somehow, some way, he is kicking himself right now.
If
you guys are voluntarily talking NBA, and he's not here.
Listen, Felipe's not listening to this show, but his girlfriend and his girlfriend's mom apparently do. Full disclosure, all right, Felipe, it was Felipe from Miami. Everything was Miami. Apparently with Trent, it's going to be all Michigan, baby.
He's got a Dennis Rodman, the Worm t-shirt on with a Detroit Piston hat today. Yesterday was a Lions Day.
That's very interesting, by the way. Do people think of Rodman with the Pistons or the Bulls?
Oh, they definitely think of him with the Bulls. And I think it's BS because he spent 7 years in Detroit and has his number in the rafters. But even Dennis, he owns the Bulls thing more because it's better for his brand. Colored hair, piercings, crazy, Vegas, all that stuff.
Yeah, but he loved Chuck Daly. He'll tell you Chuck Daly might have been the most important person in his life.
Oh, yeah. He was better in Detroit. I'll die on that hill. Won a couple Defensive Player of the Year awards, a couple rebounding titles. He was an all-star in Detroit.
But he was the Worm in Detroit. He became Dennis Rodman in Chicago.
He became Rodzilla.
And that
he wasn't wearing
that's where it ends.
He wasn't wearing wedding dresses in Detroit.
No.
Did that in Chicago.
And the Piston fan is very happy that he wasn't, because they're accepting of the Worm without any doubt. Miller and Moulton, thanks for listening right here on the Florida Sports Network.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to shop with the best, and the mall is not the place to be. Here are my friends, Jason and Todd with the Diamond District.
Take a stroll in the mall, pop into a few jewelry stores, and you'll soon discover you're in the wrong place. Rings begin to look all alike. You're not finding GIA certified diamonds. you quickly realize you know more than a salesperson helping you, and all the same financing gets pushed on you.
Visit Jason and me, and you'll find America's top bridal designers dealing exclusively with the Diamond District. You'll find the largest selection of GIA-certified diamonds, all priced 8 to 10% over cost. You'll find educated sales consultants who have many years' experience and are not paid commissions.
And you'll find Todd and me in the store nearly every day, wanting to shake your hand and welcome you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Worth.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know why the talkback isn't working.
No, it's all right.
Just pressing and holding it. But what I was saying was we got to get you at least like a Lions golf polo or something. You wouldn't wear it on the golf course?
No.
Why not?
I barely. Michigan State's the only golf polo. I have Michigan State, and I have a ECU one because my kid went there.
Okay. Well, like you wouldn't represent the Lions.
I'd wear a Lions T-shirt before I'd wear a Lions golf shirt.
Why is that?
I like T-shirts. I hate sports golf shirts.
Well, that's what you're wearing right now, isn't it?
There's no logo on this.
Okay, that's true. Oh, you hate the sports golf shirts. I see. You just think it's gimmicky?
I just don't wear team stuff like on a golf course. I'm not that guy.
That's fair.
Except for Michigan State.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't even. I don't think I've ever seen you in a Wings collared shirt, and you love the Wings.
No, I wore Everblades collared shirts when I worked there.
Right.
Those are all at Goodwill now.
I can't see how.
Let me tell you. Hold on, Trent. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, when Miller and Moulton get fired, the amount of charitable clothing that people make out on. I mean, Mark, that was half a closet of Everblade stuff. Okay, when we both got let go from that station, I mean, man, I must have had 9 770 ESPN 99.3 ESPN shirts.
Yep.
You know, now that I'm done with FGCU, I mean, oh my goodness, my closet's practically empty.
I need more FGCU swag. That's what I need.
Do you? Well, I don't know anybody. Well, I do, but
that's where Felipe went. Get on the horn.
You know, we used to get it.
Oh, okay. Dunk City. Hey, by the way, something that I thought of was when you were talking about how Ohio State should be number one, maybe if you were actually taking everything into account. Imagine if they did that for March Madness. Purdue every year, they'd win the Big Ten, and then they'd be like a 5. They'd just be like, no, you're not a 1 seed. You're a 5. Gonzaga. Okay. You ran through everybody. You're the consensus number 1 seed. We'll give you a 7.
Listen, Painters, and I will say I've seen some interviews with him this offseason. He's like, listen, we have to own it.
Yeah.
We have no choice.
Honestly, he is great. He got after that loss to Fairleigh Dickinson, he took every question.
Well, yeah.
He didn't get snarky, he didn't get snippy. He just answered every question. Went with it.
And by the way, Michigan Go Blue, he grew up in Grand Rapids because he doesn't have Twitch in there, so he's not seeing this.
By the way, good news. My car is fixed. I am going to get it today,
Nice.
and I will have my computer tomorrow because my computer's in my car because, like an idiot, I left my backpack in the car instead of taking it with me. So I'll be on the Twitch stream tomorrow. But yes, Grand Rapids native, West Side.
Is that the tough neighborhood?
No. It's just the
There
least,
is no tough side of Grand Rapids.
It's less popular.
I saw a comedic moment. I thought I'd take it. You know, like
I would say would
West
it be
Side.
considered the poor side?
I don't know.
I mean, because EGR is the money side.
EGR's money. The west side of Grand Rapids is probably just normal, like middle class. But like going to Michigan State, that was always a funny thing when you're meeting everyone freshman year. And they're like, "Oh, where are you from?" No one's from the west side. Everyone's from Metro Detroit.
I have to admit, I've never heard anybody differentiate sides of Grand Rapids. That's why when you said west side, I'm like, oh.
Well, no, I'm from the west side of the state is what I was getting at.
Oh,
Because no one's
gotcha.
from the west side of the state. It's really just Grand Rapids and Muskegon, Holland, Kalamazoo, if you count that. And the east side is, Detroit, Ann Arbor, Saginaw, all that stuff.
Those horrible places.
Did you see Michael Jordan's kid is engaged to Scottie Pippen's wife?
They're engaged?
They're engaged. Not only are they engaged, his son wants Michael to be his best man in the wedding.
I don't think he'll do it.
It's just, you can't make that up. Like, that's in like 20 years. Dwayne Wade gets married to, Dwayne Wade's ex-wife gets married to Bronny.
Right.
And then Bronny wants LeBron to be the best man. What are we doing here? Back in 10 seconds-ish. More like 12. Whatever. Sorry, David.
A lot of time cues.
Bud Elliott just tweeted out every coach in the Big Ten West.
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. It is the Diamond District bonus hour, Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network. And it's Christmas season. I mean, Halloween's in the rearview mirror, baby. Thanksgiving doesn't exist anymore. This is America, straight to Christmas. There might be a Thursday this month where we stop. We're going to have a big meal and watch football.
All right. I know that you are doing this a tiny bit tongue-in-cheek, but most of it is genuine, and I say it for this reason. This is your travel time of the year.
Right.
You just got done refurbishing and redoing your entire living quarters.
Yep.
So this will be the first Christmas with the new and improved Moulton condo.
Yep.
And my guess is that anytime now, you're going to show back up on a Monday and everything's going to be done.
So I'm very busy today. I have a lot of things planned. But tomorrow, I'm only allowed to continue living here with my wife if I get all the Christmas stuff out of storage and bring it into the condo.
So that means she's doing it this weekend.
So that means, Mark, yes, when I go off to Tuscaloosa and Jersey, and I come back Tuesday night, this will be a winter wonderland.
I am hoping, and I know she occasionally listens in the other room, and I may have to just send her a text because I want her to Christmas up the room that you're doing the show out of.
If she touches it, I swear.
You swear what? You swear what? That you won't do the show? That you'll leave her? Come on. We all know you can huff and puff. That Emmy could have a Santa cap on it, and you're going to do the damn show.
Well, I might keep the cap on the Emmy. Okay. But everything else comes down. Listen, she's not even allowed in here. Okay. Just a knock. Ask permission. This room is like my wallet. Okay. Hey, what are you doing with that? Leave that alone. Okay. I'm not allowed in her room or her purse. She's not allowed in this room or my wallet unless you ask, and ask nicely, as Jack Nicholson said. Hey, can you ask nicely? I think I've earned that.
I'd like some garland up in the background, maybe a little mistletoe.
Unbelievable.
David, would you prefer to go by the Grinch or Scrooge?
No, it's
your pick.
I like Christmas. I don't love it because I'm born near Christmas and it got in the way of my birthday and I got pretty mediocre birthday gifts because of it. So I like Christmas. I don't love it. All right. But it's how early my wife starts. That drives it. My feeling is Christmas starts the day after Thanksgiving. That's when it starts. And now my wife barely gets through Halloween without it being Christmas. And it bothers me. It is.
I feel
Call
like
me
it's
whatever you want.
universally acceptable to do the day after Thanksgiving thing. Like
The day after Thanksgiving's fine. The day after Thanksgiving's fine.
That's when we would always cut down our trees, that weekend after Thanksgiving.
It's the day after Halloween that we have a little more of a problem with. And as my phone is blowing up with this Xmas blank is getting out of hand, I think more people are on your side, David.
Yeah.
But I just know, one, you weren't in your place for 6 weeks. That's a big pain. That's just no fun having to live somewhere else. So I know you had to deal with all that. So you had to deal with 6 weeks of being not in your home, and you travel a lot. So that's uncomfortable to say the very least. But I also know your wife, and she loves Christmas.
Loves it.
Now the whole house is done, and there's a grandkid involved that's going to be over at the house a little bit. So you're done.
Oh, I know. Oh,
Elf on the shelf.
I know. Please, I know. I just don't want it to be so. That's all. That's all. But I know I've lost. You know when you've lost, the person who yells loudest is the one losing the argument. All right, it's always the case. Sports, politics, you name it. The person yelling loudest is losing. So I don't protest too much. I got it.
Yes, no, maybe so. Is Christmas starting Tuesday at the Moulton house? Yes. Does David want it to? No. Will he say anything? Maybe so.
Oh, no, definitely so. Oh, no. That's all I have. That's all the ammunition I have is be a sarcastic blankety blank. That's all I got. And she says, hold on. I'm buying something here. You're bothering me. Can you give me that credit card? What's the last 4 digits?
Contender Christmas. Pretender David caring about it.
Pretender Thanksgiving. Let me tell you, it's Thanksgiving. It's barely a holiday. Here's the other thing. We're having 13 people over for Thanksgiving.
What?
Oh, we didn't. I don't know if we invited any of them. 13 people are coming over. They invited themselves all over the state. They're coming. Both sides of the family. 13 people. Right. So we're going to have Christmas on full display, while having Thanksgiving? I feel it's rude to Thanksgiving. It's a violation.
You even going to be there?
Unfortunately, I am. Can't get out of it.
Can't wait till midway through Thanksgiving dinner when you look at everybody and go, my flight's leaving in 20 minutes. Don't know what to tell you. I got to go, everybody.
All right.
Thanksgiving.
I swear, I honestly, on whatever it is you want me to swear on, he was just the second in command at CBS Sports at the time that I approached him about this. He's now, in 6 months, going to be the chairman of CBS Sports. He's David Burson. We're in Ann Arbor together. We're doing the Michigan game. It's a couple hours before the game. We're sitting around. We're just shooting the whatever. And I say to him, hey, are we, meaning Brad and Gary, are we doing the Iowa-Nebraska game? Black Friday. Because it's on noon on CBS. And we have in the past. I mean, Vern and Gary, Brad and Gary, we've done a Friday game and then a Saturday game. And he goes, I don't think so. And I went, oh. And he goes, why? Do you want to do it? And I go, well, do I want to do it? Of course I want to do it. I get paid by the game. Okay. They're both salary. Okay, so you're asking the wrong guy. And he laughs, and I go, but I'll tell you why I want to do it. Because I think Thanksgiving's going to be over my house. And if we're doing the game, I get to travel and not be there.
Lost it, didn't he?
He did. And I go, not only that, it's a noon game. I got to travel earlier on Thanksgiving. I mean, I'll miss I got to get to Nebraska. That's 2 flights at least. That's 2 flights and a car ride. Are you kidding? I may have to leave Wednesday night.
But no such luck, huh?
Nope. We're just going to do the
Best
one
laid
game.
plans.
Yep. I got to be here for Thanksgiving.
13 people for Thanksgiving.
Yep.
That's what we were supposed to have, and I actually got a text from my cousin. She's not going to make it, so we went from 13 to 9.
Wow. Your cousin's got that kind of because she brings people with her.
She brings people. No, I mean, there's 4 of them, but their flights and everything got changed. So my Thanksgiving went down. I'm cooking for less people now.
So
maybe I can invite some of your family over.
You want them? Can I come?
Thanksgiving's all about sharing.
Oh, just stop it, okay? Honestly. I mean, it'll take us 2 years to replace you, but stop it.
But we may have already begun to look.
But it has to be Trent. Here's the good thing: it has to be a unanimous decision. Okay, that's about Miller and Moulton agreed on the name, and whatever we do has to be a 2-0 vote. Can't be 1-0 and abstention either. It's got to be 2-0.
You're both 50-50.
And we've had 3 of those votes that have been unanimous in 17 years.
Exactly. We don't take a lot of votes. Okay.
And we have less meetings. We do have today was the day when the good, the bad, and the ugly, and what's on tap. It's how we finish things off today and every day right here. Miller and Moulton, thanks for listening. The Florida Sports Network.
Visit Jason and Todd
Congress
at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to make sure you're shopping with the best. And the best when it comes to GIA certified diamonds and diamond jewelry is not online. It's not in the malls. And it's not with any of the new pop-up jewelry stores trying to make a go of it here in Southwest Florida. The best place to buy diamonds is with my friends Jason and Todd at the Diamond District, who have made Southwest Florida their home for over 20 years now. The largest selection of GIA certified diamonds is with the Diamond District. The only place you'll find diamonds 8 to 10% over cost is with the Diamond District. America's top bridal designers have chosen the Diamond District to represent their engagement rings exclusively in Southwest Florida. Simply put, the best selection, experience, and best prices are with Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Hey, David, isn't there NFL over Christmas this year?
Oh, Christmas Day, I'm in San Francisco.
Are you really? Okay.
Ravens, Niners, yeah. This will be because we were at Fox when they started Christmas Day. So this will be the fourth or fifth Christmas in a row that I'm working a game on Christmas Day.
Wow. What a life. You should wear some sort of
Oh no. Oh, I'm done. And like Halloween will not be on a Monday for 10 years.
Yeah, so you're good.
So
for 10 years at least.
And it's 5 years until we had the situation that we had this week where Halloween's even on a Tuesday. So, my days of wearing, that was it for me. I won't be in another outfit.
What, you're not going to work another 10 years?
Well, even if I do, I mean, I'll be a little old, I think. I mean, I'm a little old now, but.
Don't get rid of your sad lizard costume. You never know.
Oh, just don't start. Sad lizard. What's up with that? My wife is on a rampage right now. I just gave her money to deposit and put in the bank. Instead, she cashed it. Oh, man. She is on a roll today.
Well, it's Christmas.
My mom is taking umbrage with my mediocre Christmas birthday gifts. She said, Grandma Moulton got you the sporting news and I got you socks. And I go, that's true. And Grandma and Grandpa got me a blue sweater. That's true. That was what I got for my birthday every year.
Socks suck. Okay, Mom Moulton.
Socks.
I know there wasn't a lot of money. I get it. But socks suck.
Okay. The sweater
Not
was...
a gift. That's a necessity.
Okay. The sporting news was awesome. Absolutely awesome. Thank you, Grandma Moulton. Love you. You know what's great about the sporting news is that, like you, Mark, grew up reading Joe Falls. And I was familiar with Joe Falls because I'd read him every week in the sporting news. Before the internet,
right.
You know what I'd love today? Could you imagine if we could dig up an old sporting news and look at it? And the sporting news was considered like it was the Bible. That's what it was called. It was called the Sports Bible.
It would have a week's worth of agate pages.
All the box scores
for the week.
God, and we loved it. I mean, it's so.
Well, I lived in a small. I mean, Saginaw had an afternoon paper, David. We had an afternoon daily. So you never missed the late scores in the Saginaw paper because it didn't come out until, didn't print till 2 p.m. or noon or whenever it was.
I believe in New York for the longest time, the Daily News was a morning and the Post was an afternoon. In Scranton, where I went to college, the Tribune was the morning and the Times was the afternoon.
Coming back.
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
A crazy start to November. The Raiders clean house. New general manager, new coach. Antonio Pierce will be the interim head coach for the rest of the year. He's best known for helping the Giants win a Super Bowl by beating the undefeated Patriots. And his first game as interim head coach will be against the Giants. But Josh McDaniels, boy, 2 stints as a head coach. He gets fired midway through year 2 in both of them, Denver and Las Vegas.
He dismantled a team in a year and a half.
Yes, he did. And him and Dave Ziegler, the GM, they took a 10-7 playoff team and said, this team sucks. We're getting rid of like 2/3 of you guys. Quarterback out. We're not extending Josh Jacobs. Okay. We're trading for Devontae, giving him all the money. Yeah. Totally changed course and ran it right into a ditch.
And I'm not sure they were wrong about Derek Carr. I don't know.
I will say, coming off of how Jimmy G looked on Monday, though.
Oh, no. I didn't say they were right about Jimmy G.
Right.
I'm
That's
not.
true.
One
That's
can
true.
be, one doesn't mean the other one's right.
6 trades in the NFL yesterday. 8 in the 24 hours leading up to the deadline. Huh? We're getting there. And the Rangers are a win away from winning their first ever World Series. Remember, they were up 3-2 on the Cardinals. Never got that 4th win. Thank you, David Freese. So up 3-1, sending Evaldi to the hill tonight, where they're 10-0 on the road.
10-0 on the road.
Against 4 different teams over a month. It's remarkable.
Really and truly is.
What kind of cue does Trent want?
Okay, I literally clicked it twice. I got everything up. It's not working.
It's time for someone
There it
to
goes.
take back this segment, if for no other reason than to stop David from talking about Meghan and Harry. Here's Mark Miller with Today Was the Day When.
It's good that his first job is with the worst equipment that he'll ever work with in his career.
Mark watched me press the button twice. Sorry, go ahead, Mark.
Wow. 15:12 we start today. Michelangelo's paintings on the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel in the Vatican are first exhibited. That's a tough ticket.
I mean, you think it's impressive now. Imagine 500 years ago. You walk in, look up, and go, Shazam!
Shakespeare's Othello, first presented today in 1604. Another tough ticket.
Wow, Michelangelo and Billy.
And 1800, John Adams becomes the first U.S. president to live in the White House. 1913, big upset. Notre Dame beats Army 35-13. The Bruins officially joined the NHL today in 1924, becoming the first U.S.-based team to enter the league. Seabiscuit takes down War Admiral today in 38 by 3 lengths at Pimlico.
They'd wait about 70 years and say, you know what? Let's make a movie.
The Mackinac Bridge, the world's longest suspension bridge, opens today in 1957, connecting the Upper and Lower Peninsula in Michigan. Jim Brown becomes the first NFL player to exceed 10,000 career yards in rushing today in 1964, doing so when the Browns win at Pittsburgh. He had a mere 149 yards in that game. Koufax becomes the first 3-time winner of the Cy Young Award today in 66. He was the unanimous winner for the 2nd straight year.
And then he retired.
Cool Hand Luke premiered today in 1967. The Beatles' Abbey Road goes to #1 today in 69. President Carter raised minimum wage from $2.30 an hour to $3.35 an hour today in 1977.
And it was still our minimum wage in 1986, because when I made my start in this business, I was making $3.35.
Yep, that was my first wage as well, David. Darrell Waltrip wins his 4th straight NASCAR race. His 12th win of the season to win the Winston Cup crown, and Ty Petty for most races won in a season today in 1981. The Bulls retire number 23 today in 1994.
They'd have to bring that one down from the rafters.
Yeah, 2-hour ceremony to retire it. Titanic debuted today in 1997. We all know how that ended.
Do you mean the movie or the
both?
Well, that's true. The movie. Well, I
how else was the movie going to end?
Well, they tried to throw a big love story in, though.
Let's see. Steve Young and Jerry Rice hook up for their 80th career touchdown today in 98. That would break the mark held by Marino and Clayton. And the Royals win their World Series today in 2015. And the Astros in 2017 cheat their way to a title.
Yes, they did.
Grantland Rice, Al Arbor, Larry Flint, all born today. Gary Player's 88. Ted Hendricks is 76. Lyle Lovett is 66. Still ever wonder how he got Julia Roberts?
Oh, that is one of the 10 great mysteries of the world.
He looks like a horse.
And she doesn't.
No.
No.
Fernando Valenzuela is 63. Anthony Kiedis from Red Hot Chili Peppers is 61. Ty Domi is 54. Coach Spo is 53. And Coco Crisp is 44. What did I miss today, David?
Well, I do. No. All right. Did you have the first NBA game played today in 46? Apparently, the Knicks beat the Toronto Huskies 68-66 today. Okay. 7,000 fans at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. November 1st, 1946. Back to Gary Player for a second. He's 88, correct?
Right.
He's in better shape than both of us, right?
It's not even close.
He'd kick our butt, wouldn't he?
I wouldn't fight him.
I definitely wouldn't. No.
He'd put you in that Vulcan death grip.
Exactly. 30 years ago today, the Europe decided we're going to do this union thing. We're going to call it the EU. Boy,
you know what I say to the EU?
That's gone well, hasn't it? I mean, here you go. What was more effective? Dave Ziegler, Josh McDaniels with the Raiders, or the EU? We'll ask the folks in Britain.
You've heard folks elsewhere mock Florida is gonna Florida. Well, Mark Miller sees it differently. He calls it the good, the bad, and the ugly. What you got, Mark?
We go to Fredericton, New Brunswick for the good, where an entrepreneur sold his company for 8 figures. Then he is now building tiny homes to give homeless people in Fredericton a second chance. He is building 99 tiny homes. He is spending $4 million of his own money on the project to build the homes. He is 3/4 of the way there. Kind of putting your money where your mouth is.
Yeah, I like it.
Absolutely. For the bad, we go to Estero, in Estero High School, where assistant principal Casey Cobb noticed some aromas coming from the boys' bathroom.
Okay.
When inside, he noticed the strong smell of marijuana. 3 students exiting a stall with clouds of smoke flowing in. He told the students to stay put and got a school resource officer. That's when one of the students tried to get past the assistant principal. When he was told he was going to be searched, said, he's not giving you permission to search me. Threw a few expletives at him and then bit down on the school research officer, trying to get his way out of the bathroom, biting that man.
You can't do that.
No, you can't.
They know where you live. They know where you go to class. They know your locker. They can get into your locker. It's just, no, not good.
Finally, the ugly, we go to DeSoto County, where law enforcement are warning drivers about someone impersonating a police officer. DeSoto County Sheriff's Office spotted a truck outfitted with red and blue emergency lights decals. But the person behind the wheel wasn't a police officer. Instead, where the words you normally would find Border Patrol, it actually says, David, Booty Patrol.
Wow. All right.
The owner of the car spent $7,000+ to fabricate it to look like a Border Patrol car. He says he's just trying to have some fun. You know, Booty Patrol.
Right. Have to admit, it's pretty good on Halloween.
And today it is the good, the bad, and the ugly. On November the 1st, 2023.
Game 5 of the World Series is tonight. Listen, most of you haven't watched a pitch. This could be the last pitches of the year. No baseball for nearly 5 months. What do you say? Fox, 8 o'clock? Come on, it's a Wednesday. What do you got going on? Maybe church, some bingo. I get it. All right. That's the best I could do. Texas up 3-1. And A, they've never won the World Series before. And B, they're playing in Arizona. They have a big pool in right center field. There's a chance if the Rangers win, they go celebrate in the pool.
Around midnight.
10 years ago, the Dodgers won the division in Arizona and ran out, climbed the fence, and partied in the pool in uniform. Just saying. College football tonight. Maction, Ball State Bowling Green, 7 o'clock ESPN2. But the biggie, this is make plans. Go out, get the good chips and dip. 7:30 ESPNU. Kent State and Akron combined, they're 2-14. 1-7 each, baby. Akron, a 4-point favorite at home.
Wow.
Yeah. 4 games in the NHL. A TNT doubleheader. Buffalo, Philly at 7. St. Louis, Colorado at 9:30. NBA, whole bunch of games tonight. Heat are hosting Brooklyn, I believe. Yeah. And the Cavs and Knicks, it went so well last night in Cleveland. They're going to do it again tonight in New York. That's a new NBA scheduling thing. They did it post-pandemic. Players want changes to the schedule, and so they do a lot of this now. Either 2 on back-to-back days in the same city, or they'll do this. So we'll just do a home and home. Let's get this out of the way.
Love the home and homes in hockey. I can't complain about them in hoop. At least it should bring a little more intensity to the second game, although there was none in the first game because, well, the Knicks beat the Cavs by 20.
Knicks are 6.5-point favorites. I'm staying away from it tonight since I did so well last night.
But you got to, I mean, Akron, Kent State, nothing there either?
Oh, no. I have a theory. 2 bad teams, I always take the points.
So you're taking Kent State.
Kent
and
State.
the 4.
Totally. Yeah. You kidding me? I mean, should a 1-7 team be a 4-point favorite on anybody? I mean, come on. So what does it say here? I mean, ESPN's BPI says I got a 43% chance to win the game outright. Yeah, give me the 4. Listen, if you're betting Akron and Kent State, I just want to let you know you have a problem.
For Felipe, I'm going to take the Pacers plus 10.5 at the Celtics tonight.
Look at you. Riding that Pacers bandwagon. Felipe's Pacers bandwagon.
I could dump it after one bet. That's the bet I'm going with tonight is the Pacers.
Okay. So there you have it. Tomorrow, Dr. Roto, Alex Golish, the head coach of USF, Roy Cummings. Bucks did nothing at the deadline. Nothing. I say nothing.
And I'm not surprised. I know you're not surprised. You're bothered by it, but not surprised.
I'm very surprised that no team outside of Detroit with Donovan People-Jones acquired a wide receiver. I am. Considering how significant they've become in this league, how a very good wide receiver changes the field. That surprised me yesterday, Mark. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks for spending part of it with us, Miller and Moulton.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again,